I would threaten to turn this car right around, but I can't.
Well, I'm sat here with a gin in the car, so somebody else
So,
is going to have
yes,
to turn it
Eververse.
around.
There's no open containers in my car, sir. I'm gonna need you to dump that out the window.
You have
That's a
coffee, don't
waste.
lie.
Should have brought it.
Eververse. Can I get back to Eververse? Maybe?
No.
No.
Probably.
I love this show.
No, you don't. I don't love shit. I don't love editing this show. Really don't. I hate all of you.
Just don't edit it. Be like, listen, we're just gonna edit out large. The show's gonna be about 4 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
We're like, here, we're just cutting large pieces of it
Just
straight
edit
out.
cursive and leave the rest alone.
Yes, Robot Respawn, I will do that.
We're going to assume that there were some words in that robot.
In the house.
And robot, not ARF. We can't hear every other word of both of you. You're both useless. 1 star. Would not return to sender. I love you both, but you're both useless this week.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Rager, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
And there's our man who lives in the swamp where it's 1 billion degrees and humidity all the time, and the mosquitoes just feast on them like alligators.
I honestly don't know how he copes in all that heat. And then when he wears that Deepstone Crypt jacket to do his lawn mowing at the same time. I'm guessing that he's just turned on everything and just walked away, or he's got everything on mute.
He's talking to chat and going, "What do you mean you guys can't hear me?
Can you hear them, chat? Chat, can you hear them? No.
Hi, chat.
Hi, chat.
Hi, chat. How's it going, chat? Everybody good? Everybody having a good morning?
And welcome to the Two Titans and a Hunter Destiny 2 podcast. I am your glorious host, Nitedemon, joined, as ever, by Peroty and Mr. No One Responds in Real Life.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay.
Mr. Robot.
I was talking to you earlier. I was talking to you as you was talking to me.
Are you in the car?
Yes.
Why? We can always tell when you're in the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just saying, it sounds like car.
Yes, this is car time.
So, Respawn, what's your plan for today? Is it roving reporter?
Yeah, but unfortunately, chat's saying they can't hear me. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on?
Are you Twitch streaming from your phone as well?
Yeah, trying to.
Oh God!
It says the microphone is not muted.
Oh,
yeah, but is the microphone being in use for Discord already? And can it do 2 things at once?
It is being used for Discord, and I don't know if it can be used for 2 things at once.
Important thing is, though, can they hear the 2 most important hosts?
No, he says there's no sound. One of you guys help me out. See if you can get in. Let's see if y'all can hear me.
Really, this is a T-slap situation is what we got right here.
I don't want to ban anybody. No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Are you sure? I mean, somebody might need it.
Somebody might need it. Stand by.
I mean, a good banning is a good way to start the day.
I honestly don't know why he thought that he could do Twitch streaming from his car.
Yeah, I really hope he's not driving as well as trying to Twitch stream.
You know he is.
Oh, yes. I wonder where he was this week, or where he's, I assume, coming back from. So where are you driving back from, Respawn?
Haha! All right. I'm driving from North Carolina up until Florida.
That would be down.
And,
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
For the moment.
All right. for the moment. Well,
Yeah,
I tried to start Discord first and then Twitch, and that was only working for the Discord sound. So now I'm streaming my game on Twitch from my phone screen, which is actually Discord. So we'll see if that's functional
what, while you're driving the car?
while I'm driving the car.
Perfect.
You know what?
Dear
They can
everyone
always
on
give you an
I-95 in
A-star
North
for
Carolina.
A-star for
I'm not
effort.
on I-95 yet. I'm getting there.
Oh my word! So if we lose you halfway through, we know what's happened.
When I turn on the news and they say there's been a massive crash on 95 in North Carolina, I'll be like, I know exactly what happened.
Ah, Jesus Christ. There's still no sound.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
I don't know if
guys,
that's
I
going to
tried.
work bandwidth or technically.
They're going to have to catch the podcast. They're going to have to download it.
And there goes Respawn, because I've driven through North Carolina. I don't care what cell phone provider you have. There's plenty of dead spots.
For me, there's only one, and it's at the very beginning of the drive back down to get home, right back down to Florida, and that's the only dead spot is when I'm going through the Bass Ackwards fields and whatnot. That's the time when it's not good. But other than that, I have signal the whole way, so not too bad.
Right. Well, there's having signal, and there's having enough signal to be heard, to have enough bits going through to go somewhere. You can have
True.
signal the whole way. Doesn't mean it's going to help you.
So welcome to the show. And Respawn has decided he's going to be roving reporter Respawn today. So you are reporting from where? Is it I-98, you said?
No, the backwoods of North Carolina. Honestly, I'm surprised I have a signal still, because I'm in that area right where usually I'll use you guys.
Well, so if we lose him, you know why we've lost him. And he'll probably get lost around the same time that we start doing lost sectors and challenges, because you know how much he likes to listen to them.
Bro,
Those are his
no,
favorite
honestly,
part. Don't lie.
See? Like that.
And there's the robot. I will give you credit, Nitedemon. This week, I fully believe it was with your blessing. I got both my new Titan shoulders, and I got one of the two grasps from the Warlock that I didn't have. That one of the two. I got the necrotic grips because I remember what day it was, and the Titan shoulders took me like 10 runs, and I got nothing. Like a couple of the drops, like not even a single thing came out of that chest. But then I put the game down, came back the next, or not the next day, but it wasn't the next day. It was like the next morning before reset.
Yeah.
Came back, first run, got the shoulder. So I was like, perfect. So I was like, I'm feeling good. Let's swap over to the Warlock. Took like 2 or 3 runs, got the necrotic grips to drop, and I was like, okay, we're done. I've run out of time, but I've gotten at least 2 of the things I didn't have before.
I think that's the thing with lost sectors.
They're fickle.
I mean, as experienced Guardians, you still don't know whether that RNG has some kind of effect on it, or whether it's just the game being buggy and you're thinking, well, if I turn it off and just come back in a couple of hours, will it work, kind of thing. Like you've just said, you came back the next morning before the reset, so it was still arms day. And I feel the same some days. You could run it like 10, 15 times on just a normal legendary and get nothing. And the next day that you run it or go into a lost sector, and you get an exotic every single time, you think, what is it? This isn't RNG. There's obviously something there. So yeah, if you're a new player, it isn't just you. It happens to everybody, just across the board. You don't know the reason. But
yeah, And I always wonder, like, if I had run one more, would that have been the run, or was it because I stopped and stepped away and that reset RNG or whatever mechanisms happened in the game? Is that why I got what I got? But either way, I actually got something out of the lost sectors, and because I remembered which days it was where I needed the arms, because I wanted my new fancy Titan arms, and then I remembered I also didn't have any of the Warlock arms or the Hunter arms, but the Hunter is still at 1360 something, so we don't talk about him.
Fair enough.
Which is all a long ramble to say, what can I get this week?
Well, okay, we'll start with lost sectors.
Hello!
That's where the good stuff is. Tell me where I can get my fancy new arms, legs, hats, all sorts of things.
Well, if you're like Peroty and you are still searching, or if you're new to the game and you're searching for exotic armor pieces, lost sectors, daily lost sectors are the best place to go and get them, unless Zer turns up. who's this weird squid face looking guy that sometimes you'll see in the bottom of the tower, or maybe you won't. Maybe if you're new to Destiny, you don't know about squid face. So squid face suddenly turns up at the weekends on a Friday, and normally there are hundreds of videos of where Xur is. You could just type in "where's Xur" on Google, and somebody will tell you exactly where that dude is. I believe this weekend he is on Nessus, hiding in a tree, and so he gives you exotics. He gives you one exotic per character and an exotic weapon that you can buy for legendary shards. There are other things that he does sell as well. He has other weapons that have gone out of rotation.
Now, I also visited Xur in Eternity. He lives on a tiny planet with a magical horse. Can I go see him there for weapons and armor as well?
No.
Or do I have to wait till the weekend for him to show
but
up?
it's
That's
a
his
different
game
kind
show.
of setup.
Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
game show that he runs all throughout the time. And then at the weekends, he has this kind of magical out of body experience where he'll split himself from, he'll be in that place and he'll be on a different planet somewhere else. So yeah, you're right. He's all over the place and he's nowhere and everywhere. But he brings
But
lovely wares
lately,
every now and then.
so in addition to the exotics, he also has legendary armor and weapons for you
Mhm.
for roles that you don't have. And for the past month or so, he's got magical weapons where as you're watching them, their perks are changing randomly. So if you just wait, you can either get a god roll or a roll that can never roll on that weapon anywhere else in the game, bar none.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a god roll. Sometimes it's Loki, sometimes it's Thor, sometimes it's Odin. It just depends on the god.
Right?
Exactly. But yes, let's go back to our lost sectors. So lost sectors, place where you can go and get your armor, just armor. And as Peroty was saying, you may take you 10 runs, it may take you 15 runs. Legendary lost sectors are meant to be easier to do, less champions. So check which champions there are and what burns there are. There is a flag outside the lost sector each day. Make sure that you have done that lost sector prior to actually checking it out. You will find them dotted around whichever planet they are. Make sure you run it through normally, otherwise they don't show up as the legend or master lost sector.
Yep.
Flag outside. Legend is a little bit easier. Master is a lot harder, depending on your light, because that is light enabled, and it's meant to be an easier way to get the exotic. But as you know, Peroty and I and Respawn always say, just run through on the legendary and just run it as many times as you can, and you should get the exotic that you don't have. So if you don't have many of the exotics, every time you run it, you'll get a different exotic, which is quite nice. And it normally starts off with the ones that are primary for
Newish.
yeah. It would normally start off with the ones that are primary for the season. So whichever ones are the season releases, like Peroty was saying, you've got arms for the Titan. Was it boots for the Warlock and arms for the Hunter?
Oh yeah.
So if you're doing it on a specific day, because they do rotate for daily, so you'll have one day it'll do legs, one day it'll do arms, one day it'll do chests, one day it'll do helmets, and just keep rotating and rotate where they are. So I'll run through where they are, what you can get. So Monday the 25th of July will be the extraction on the Throne World, giving you exotic legs. Tuesday the 26th will be the excavation site 12 on the EDZ, giving you arms. On the 27th, which is Wednesday, will be the Skydock 4, and that will be on the EDZ, giving you chess pieces. Thursday, the 28th, will be the Quarry, also on the EDZ, giving you helmets. Then we go to the moon. On Friday, the 29th, will be the K1 Crew Quarters, and that will be giving you exotic legs. Saturday, the 30th, will be the K1 Logistics on the moon, giving you exotic arms. Sunday the 31st will be the K1 Revelations on the moon, giving you exotic chess pieces, and then background to Monday the 1st of August will be the K1 Communion on the moon, giving you exotic helmets. And we do have guides from PV Shifty, Time Sausage Gaming, Monkish Jam, Legionless in our show notes for each specific day, and underneath that you have the link to Abontis's YouTube channel, who's done breakdowns for each lost sector, mainly for new Guardians, to help them go through without any exotics. So just going through with regular gear and putting on like regular legendary weapons to get you through it, to help you.
Yeah, and today in Destiny.com, one of their things is the lost sectors, which will tell you, all the bits and bobs, what champions there are, how many there are. It'll also give you a list of what exotics are available. So you say Arms Day. Which arms are those? it'll give you a nice little drop down of all the arms on all 3 characters, so you know, do I have this yet? Do I need it? Which character do I need to run this on? And also lostsector.today, a separate website, is a really nice, just quick little check of what is up today, what lost sector is it, what champions there are, how many champions there are. It's a very bullet note version of here is, or a bulleted list version of here's what the lost sector is. That I've been using a couple times just to go, okay, well, there's, it's these 2 champions. Great. But how many? Is it 3 overloads and 1 barrier? Okay, well, let me play my load out accordingly if I just have to deal with 1 of these guys versus 3 of these guys.
And Peroty will drop those links into my show notes so that I can then put them in our show notes.
Indeed.
So they will be at the bottom of the Lost Sectors.
Yeah, Today in Destiny should already be there because that's really, Today in Destiny, if you're playing anything, go look at Today in Destiny. It will tell you what everything is. Basically, what all your activities are, up to including, is there an Amazon drop you can go get? It has everything with a nice little checkbox too. So if you're really trying to work your way through things, you can check things off each day. Some of it's daily, some of it's weekly, and go, okay, did that. And it's a one-stop shop for all the things.
So hopefully we've explained that, but maybe not.
I've got that glaring blemish on there of that empty checkbox that says I do not have the raid exotic, just staring at me in the face, laughing at me, taunting me.
That's not an exotic you can get from the Lost Sector, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. It does everything, not just Lost Sectors.
Yeah.
Today in Destiny will also give you an Eververse calendar, which will tell you what pretty things you can get in the second week of Solstice. Ooh. So, Nitedemon, what pretty things can I get for the second week of Solstice?
Are you talking about Eververse stuff?
I am indeed.
No.
I've got my amassed collection of Bright Dust right here.
Okay.
I'm burning a hole in my... I've got my 50,000 Bright Dust sitting here, just ready to spend it on things.
What?
I haven't spent Bright Dust in quite a while. I've got 50,868 Bright Dust as we record.
I'm sorry, did you say 50,000?
Yeah, that's a 5 and a 0, homeboy.
50,000 Bright Dust. Yeah. This is what happens when you pick up all of the things on your season pass and do lots of bounties for Bright Dust every week and then just hoard it all for months and months on end. Because then you can buy whatever you want when something tickles your fancy.
I thought I had a lot with 15,000, but 50,000, man, that's some good going.
See, Nitedemon is a hoarder of weapons and armor. I'm a hoarder of random materials that I then never spend because I take them out of the game before I spend them.
Nitedemon alone. I was on his stream the other day and I saw him delete something.
No, I'm not going to leave him alone because that's our dynamic. He knows who he is. I don't shame him for being who he is. It's just who he is as a person. I understand it.
That's why it's funny. We absolutely shame him for being a hoarder.
Yeah.
Don't lie to the people. Come on.
3,000 whoos later.
So now that we've completely derailed this show,
Eververse.
So the Eververse store, they've got things. I could buy them.
They have. And
what are they?
We discussed last week that I'm not entirely sure when I'm reading out all the silver stuff because they put stuff on the main page for silver that then doesn't make sense because they have it on offer all the time. So I think I came to the decision I was going to skip over that and just go and tell you what is available for Bright Dust.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
you know what,
just tell
Peroty?
the people what the Bright Dust is, because that's A, free in the game, and B, absolutely changes every week.
But the thing is, I do want to tell you about some of the silver offerings next week.
Well, it's on the main page. They can see that.
Tell us about the selected, handcrafted, handpicked, small batch Nitedemon Select silver offerings. Okay. You don't have to tell us all the silver offerings, just the one that you feel are the best.
There are there's at least one that I think looks pretty cool, but I'll tell you the other 2 items that I think that are going to be interesting. So we have an exotic sparrow called the Crab Cycle, which looks like a crab with little pinchers at the front. That is going to be for 800 silver next week.
Is it a reskinned spider or is it an actual crab?
It looks like
they have the same number of legs. I'm going to be a little bit salty, Bungie, because these are different creatures.
And then to match that, you also have the ghost shell that looks like a seashell, and that's an exotic one. That's going to be 600 silver. But the one that I'm interested in is the Gilded Honors, which is your weapon ornament for the Forerunner sidearm. That's going to be 700 silver. This is I think I've seen this on many people's streams, so it is available now, but it's going to be on that featured page next week going, look at me, look at me. So I've looked at you now and gone, you look pretty cool. I don't have abundance of silver. I might get it. Depends.
See,
So yeah.
when it comes to things like silver and what to spend your money on, I think Peroty is in a good place. And it's going to sound like I'm poking fun at you, but I'm not, right? So I went back and I did the raid, and I did the raid so many times to get the always on time sparrow. And as we know, that thing's bugged and it's way faster than any other sparrow, right? So when cool ones come out that I really physically like the look of, like the one that's on fire right now, right? It's like, oh my God, yes, I gotta have that. It looks so cool. And then I equip it, and now I feel like I'm going so flippin' slow. So like the people that don't have the always on time, you can pick all these sparrows, and to you there's no difference. You can literally do it for the look, right? But every time I put it on, it just I'm angry because it's like, why don't we have what's called transmog for sparrows? If the always on time is going to be bugged and it's always going to be the fastest one, let me make it look like some of these other ones.
Yeah.
You can have the Need for Speed, or you can have the fashion game.
The Ghost Run.
Are you in the car with
That
him,
looks
Arf?
immense. It's not quick.
Yes,
I am in
that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
I am in a car. Yes.
Oh God.
So we've got Not Arf and Respawn on a road trip together this weekend. You can tell me no. You can tell me you're not in the same car. I will not believe you. You are absolutely sitting side by side going down the road.
You two have planned this, haven't you?
I am at a
That is the image in my head, and the image I'm putting.
My car isn't even here, so I've borrowed the keys to my brother-in-law's car to sit in it to podcast.
I know, because you're with Respawn, going down the road together, side by side.
I'm just sat in the car at a family barbecue at the minute.
You can't tell me you're not sitting side by side in the car. I simply don't believe you.
Again. He's here to tell us he can't do lore because he's at insert event here.
He's always at an insert event here.
See the links I've already posted in the host chat, so Demon can actually do the actual videos I've linked to.
Momentarily, I'm driving, so no, I haven't.
You should know, Arf. He's sitting next to you in the car.
Yeah. Just show him your phone off.
Right?
Yeah, I'll just show him my phone. He can see it then. Look, you see these links Respawn?
Yeah.
No. Eyes on the road, even if the road isn't moving.
We haven't even got past the opening of the show. It's just
because you're talking about the whole thing again. He said, "Pick your favorite thing," and you're going down the whole list.
No, you went off on a tangent about Sparrow cos.
It wasn't a tangent. I feel jealous of people that don't have it, because now that you have it, it's just you can't buy it else.
On the Tower of Lost Light, the Monument to Lost Light in the tower.
You should feel jealous.
Oh, can you?
I've got no time to explain.
There you go. Right, so the fast sparrow that is glitched to be the fastest sparrow in the game, you can go to the tower, and in between the two vaults, there's a Monument to Lost Light. It will take you, I think it spoils of a conquest from doing raids, but you can buy this sparrow that Respawn is on about that was in the raid that is no longer available because the raid was taken out of the game.
Are we talking about the one that's for not the Wrath of Machine? The
sparrow's name is always on time.
We're desperately
yes, no, I don't have that. Sorry.
Here we are.
Later that same evening.
So also available on the 2nd of August, Eververse Week, is going to be the ornament for the Forerunner, and that's going to be for 1,250 bright dust. So again, if you don't want to spend your silver, wait for the following week. But for next week, for bright dust, we have the Tropicalzal exotic ghost shell, and that will be 2,850 bright dust, and that's the one that it's got a little sun hat on and some sunglass. I say sunglass, yeah, just one glass over its little eye. That's it.
Only has one eye. It's a Cyclops.
The final in-star exotic ship will be available for 2,000 bright dust. A very unique looking ship I'm not sure if I like it. I'm going to have to see it on screen, but that's available next week. And we have the Sandcastle Transmat effect for 450 Bright Dust. The Pomegranate Gloss Legendary Shader for 300 Bright Dust. The Flag on Play Exotic Emote for 3,250 Bright Dust. Teamwork Dance, which is your legendary emote, for 700 Bright Dust. Predator Sunshell for 2,850 Bright Dust. Respawn's favourite sparrow in the game is the Micro Mini that is available next week for 2,500 Bright Dust. Even though it's slower than the other one that he's moaning about, he still likes this one. Don't you?
I do.
There you go.
I really do.
Haven't
Respawn
taken that off in
approved.
months. It's great. It's the best one.
The ship, the exotic ship that's going to be available next week is the Orated Dawn, and that would be 2,000 Bright Dust. And then we have the weapon ornament for the Suros regime, Grey Nitrate, and that will be for 1,250 Bright Dust. And then finally, the Flamingo projection. I don't know why you'd want a Flamingo projection. It looks like a swan projection, but they say it's a flamingo, and that would be for 1,500 Bright Dust.
Don't flamingo shame our fans. Don't be that guy.
No,
I'm
he's right though. It's like, tell me you've never seen a flamingo without telling me you've never seen a flamingo. Bungie will go first. It's like it's a big bird. It's fine. It looks like a swan. Shh, we'll call it a flamingo. It'll be fine. We'll bring it out in 6 months. Call it a swan. No one will remember.
And seeing as we're doing things in reverse this week, we've gone from Lost Sectors to Eververse. We're going to now move on to our challenges for next week. And luckily, you only have 3 next week. So that's good. So this is our final week of challenges, week 10. And don't forget, you can get a large pile of Bright Dust by doing 72 out of the 75 that are available this season. And I believe it's like 4,000 Bright Dust. So it is worth trying to do. And there aren't that too many hard ones on there to do. I think the 2 hardest ones are getting to 1570 and completing a Grandmaster Nightfall. If you're new to the game, I think those are the only 2 hard ones that will be hard out of the 75. So that'll take you down to 73. So the rest of them, I think, are doable.
Agreed.
We have Haunting Caphony. Haunting Caphony. Defeat combatants with machine gun final blows on the derelict Leviathan and defeat powerful Scorn in any Sever activity. So you have to go, even if you finish Sever, you've got to go back into Sever. Machine gun kills, they want you to have 200 of those and 30 powerful Scorn, and that will be giving you challenge XP+. Europa activities. On Europa, earn progress by completing bounties, patrols, public events, and lost sectors, and they would like you to have completed 18 of those. That will give you challenge XP+. And Bright Dust, yeah, just to make sure that you know that Europa is still there. And then finally, Vanguard Ornament. Acquire the Vanguard Ornament for Chain of Command. That will be Challenge XP+++ and some Bright Dust, which I feel is a week too late because this is the week that we have the double XP for Vanguards.
Yes, but it is retroactive. So if you do have it, yeah, I mean, if you've already done it, then you just get the credit for it the moment that the thing goes live, which is nice.
Yep.
So yeah, this is the week you're doing all your Vanguard
1570
things.
isn't too bad, you know. You've only let me use the Titan this season, and I'm at 1570 already.
Yeah, but
So,
you do raids. I'm talking about people that don't do raids, don't do dungeons. Like me, I don't do raids, I don't do dungeons. So I just do what is available pinnacle throughout the season that I can do mainly solo, apart from maybe doing LFGs for Legendary Nightfall to get the 100k.
Wouldn't that mean that you have a better chance? Because I only do the raid and the dungeon every week. I don't do the pinnacles from anywhere else. So you have more chances of getting higher than me. Or is it just that the raid and the dungeon gives pinnacles? Then
yeah, it gives you higher tier, yeah.
Okay.
And you get more of them for the week.
Yeah,
fair.
You don't get just one for completing it. You get each stage of that raid.
One per encounter, yeah.
Per encounter. So you get like 4 or 5, depends on what. And if you do multiple raids, and if it's the featured raid, or if you're doing the featured dungeon, or just the dungeon for that week, you get all throughout that as well, which is quite nice.
It's like an Iron Banner every week.
It is. Really need to get into that. So Peroty,
you should.
Let's round out what is happening next week in Destiny with what a Bungie are telling us is next week in Destiny.
So So allegedly, next week in
That
Destiny,
was the worst segue ever.
I hear Solstice continues. It's
Okay.
just going to continue. There's just more Solstice. If you're feeling sassy, you can free Sadia and her free her from the Taken Corruption. You're not also freeing the Taken Corruption in the Corrupted Nightfall, which Bungie just put this one in the vault. Let's never free Sadia again. For Sadia is very free. She's very happy now. just put her in the vault with the Taken Corruption. It'll be fine.
If we need to free Sadir again, she's not learned a bloody lesson.
Exactly. we freed her so many times. If you've been putting it off up to this point in the season,
I have, yes.
This is the week to bank those motes and enjoy bonus Gambit ranks. So if you're trying to get your Gambit things done for all your seasonal challenges, up to in addition to getting the Gambit ornament for the machine gun, next week is a week to do it. And Crucible shacks to bring in Clash. So that's the game type that everyone plays when they're playing objectives. This one has no objective other than kill each other. That's it. Period. Full stop. Kill each other.
Nobody plays that game mode, which is hysterical.
Because they're playing it everywhere else. And if you are looking for those sweet pinnacles, your raid is the Garden of Salvation and your dungeon is the Pit of Heresy.
Nice.
So Nitedemon, maybe next week is the week you take on the Ogre and get your flawless solo run on this.
No.
Maybe that's the week. Maybe.
No, it's this week. And I haven't, because I've been at work, I haven't managed to do my my Shattered Throne. But I will at some point. I was going to sit down and do it, but not this week. But when you're talking about banking your motes next week, it isn't your only week to do your Gambit, but it's probably the most efficient way of doing it because it's the double XP if you want to get through Gambit in the less amount of time, because all the other weeks it's just a normal XP.
Yeah.
But Gambit also has one of the best scout rifles in the game too, so that's another reason to play that nobody ever mentions. Like you get a 270 full auto scout rifle from Gambit. It's a kinetic. It's one of two kinetic. Yeah, it's one of two kinetic 270s in the game, and you can get great rolls on it. And you can only get it from Gambit.
Was it only one of two kinetics in the game?
Two kinetic 270s or 280s.
It was one of only two.
Yeah.
Most importantly, like Respawn said, it's an inherent full auto, so you don't have to use your full auto retrofit on it. You can use any of the other lovely mods on it, and then you'll have full auto and something else.
Dun, 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 dun.
So let's be honest.
I think it's that one and the throwing
knife. We're
knife
using is full auto, right?
Two kinetic 270s, right?
I have no idea what the rate of fire on any scout rifle is.
Well,
so
Randy's throwing knife.
Yes, absolutely.
Randy's throwing knife. You remember that? Yeah, it was a kinetic, and
and
this is
what the rate of fire is.
It's like 270, 280. Yeah. But yeah, and this is
280.
Those numbers are different because it can't be the same.
Which number would you like to lock in, sir?
It's 280, I believe.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
No, because it's probably 270.
Well, which one are you going to go for? The money is locked in here, sir. This is your time to.
So we have a 180. I know for a fact that there's a 180, so I'm going to go 270. 270's final answer.
Are you
sorry,
sure?
Sir, it is 260.
Oh, Respawn.
No. Whatever. It's really fast firing. It's a scout rifle. It's kinetic. It's perfect for this season when you have scout rifle mods.
Although to be fair, Respawn, the servant leader is also 260. So you were correct and they were the same number, just not what that number was. So we will give you 43% credit. And if I knew how to search like Light GG by scout rifle RPM, I would do that, but I don't. So you get what you get.
Yep.
But yeah, I have so many. We need to talk about engrams at some point, Bungie. I have so many sitting at Shacks and at the Drifter right now. I have so many to pick up and.
Is
and
your
not
name
care
Paul
what they
Tassi?
are.
Because I believe you've already made a video on this week.
Oh, did he? My name is not Paul Tassi, but I will credit Paul Tassi where I definitely saw that and definitely noticed it. But yeah, I wait till the end of every. Can we have a bag of
holding just for engrams, Destiny? Can we do that?
Right. Like
they did. They gave you 10 slots. Those are your 10 slots that you should be using.
No, I need like 50 slots. 10. Yeah, I need way more than that. Or I need 10 slots per activity or per something. I need to break up these 10 slots in some way.
Or give us more points per activity so that we can actually focus the damn things. You know what I'm saying? Because you get more engrams than you get currency.
I mean, I can focus them. I don't know if I care what I'm focusing them for.
No, but I think he's saying for like the seasonal part. So if you're doing like the Castellum and you're doing Leviathan stuff, it's only a limited amount of those seasonal elements that you get to then go into the crown to focus it. I mean, I'm still getting elements from the previous season from just running strikes and that, and it's just that's building up as well as the new stuff. And I'm like, well, I can go back and get a red framed border weapon from over there, but that's over there. I'm trying to do the new stuff over here. This is the crown, and I'd like to do more of this stuff here.
And what's ridiculous is it's only 10 to focus armor, which think that's low, right? But it's some arbitrary number. What is it, like 27
for a weapon?
20? Why 7? Why 27? Why not 25? Why not 30? Why 20 at all? Why does it cost so much more to do an armor than it does a weapon? When arguably weapons are more complicated to create.
That's the draw, isn't it? That's what makes people come back is the weapons. It's not necessarily the armor, because the armor you can just slap any armor on and stick some mods on, but it's the weapons that make the game with how it feels.
This season, everybody should have changed their armor because of this whole freaking resilience thing, right? Now
What
I
happens
have
if you
100
already had
resilience.
100% resilience?
Huh?
What happens if you'd already seen this coming about 3 years ago and still had
Well, I
everything
mean,
in
Titans
resilience?
already have 100 resilience, but Hunters and Warlocks, they didn't. So at a minimum, Hunters and Warlocks, should have been swapping out their armor for the
I
new...
told you a long time ago that I was running 100% resilience with my Hunter, and you
Yeah,
said I
but
was
you
mad.
play Hunter badly, so you don't count.
Fair
So do
enough.
you?
No,
He's a
I
big-
don't. Well, I will
he's just-
1v1
he's just-
you any day.
He's just a big beefy hunter. Nitedemon is just built into the hunter
Yeah.
as they've evolved into big beefy boys. The Bungie feels they should be with their
Ask
armor
Gator
choices.
and Hazel how bad I am at playing Hunter. They'll tell you.
According to Gator and Hazel, you crutch on the invis.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not supposed to use what my character has inherently? Oh, well, okay. In that case, Warlocks stop flying and Hunters stop punching. And then we'll all have an even playing field. How about that?
Hunters haven't punched a day in their life.
You crutch in invisibility. Yeah, because Hunters can go invis. It's not my fault you chose bad classes that can't go invis. As
Anyway,
often.
But
As often. I've learned my lesson. Damn it.
Learned your lesson.
Welcome
sorry
to
be
this
a
hill.
spark
Are you prepared to
trooper
die
here,
on
guys,
it?
But could we possibly move on to lore? Because my time is rapidly decreasing before my wife comes looking for
That's
me.
what I was trying to get onto. I was just about to say, we have a not half here. Hopefully, he's got some lore in his brain stored up that he's now going to share with us because he's gone away and he's done his homework. So it's not a full, not half-assed lore, but it is some kind of lore that we've asked him to go away, look at, and come back and tell us, explain to us what has happened. So, Arf, it's over to you.
What has happened?
So we say spoilers at this point because maybe we should say spoilers. So if you haven't finished the end of the season story bit, then just I'll put like timestamps so you can avoid this bit if that helps.
Timestamps, klaxons.
Oh yeah, the
fire
klaxons,
alarms, whatever.
Yeah. So you'll get a warning now. This is your warning to kind of skip, look down in the notes and go, this is where they continue talking twaddle.
Wee woo, wee woo, wee
Please
woo,
don't
wee
twaddle when
woo.
we try and give you the Destiny information.
What has happened? We've been fooled.
Okay, we've been had. We've been tricked. We've been lied to. We've been bamboozled.
Who's been lying
By
to us,
whom?
Arf?
Tell us.
No.
So basically,
But
all
he's
this
always
time,
been so honest with us. What are you talking about?
all this time, Callus has been fooling us because he's been basically trying to prove himself to the witness.
And you say all this time, is this only since the
No,
Glycon
this is
came along?
going
or is
right
this-
back to the Leviathan raid.
Okay.
When he peered into the darkness? Is this going back to when he peered into the darkness? Is that when he met the witness?
Well, he actually met the witness, I believe, back in the Chronicron on his before he actually found. This is way before we defeated Gaul in the Red War.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
So after we defeated Gaul, he found out about it, then made his way to Earth to meet this potential shadow. He made his way to Earth, and he wanted to. He's always been all about his shadows and everything else. And he wanted to meet us, the person that beat Gaul, that beat him. Do you understand what I mean? So he's looking for the strong of the strong.
He's screaming 1v1 me, bro.
Pretty much, yeah. So we've gone into this last mission with Keitel, with Zavala, and with Crow, and with Eris. And we've gone to actually take Gaul out before he can take over the pyramid on the moon. So we've gone in there, and
Gaul or
unfortunately,
Callus, sorry.
we've not actually been able to beat Callus because he's already transferred his consciousness into the pyramid on the moon. But it's more, yes, we defeated him, but it's more like a draw because
Okay.
he's achieved what he wanted to, and we've achieved what we wanted to. Do you understand what I mean?
No.
It's a proper compromise where neither side is happy, but neither side got what, or both sides got what they sort of wanted.
Yes, we've defeated him, but he still managed to get his consciousness in the pyramid on the moon and joined the witness as their disciple again. Now he's become the pilot fish, if you will. This is the best description I can. You'll always have a forerunner before the swarm hits. Do you get what I mean by this reference here?
No.
No. Right.
He's the scout. He's the one you send ahead to.
That's exactly it.
The herald the coming of things.
But wasn't that
Yes.
Rolk in the first place?
No, he was the disciple. Now, Callus is the herald.
Okay. Yeah.
He
Now I
is
get it.
heralding the second collapse.
He's the town crier to the apocalypse.
Yeah. Hear ye, hear ye, hear you.
So the first collapse happened after the Golden Age.
That's correct, yeah. And now the second collapse is on his age. And by defeating Callus, all we've actually done there is delayed this.
Seems like a lot of work for nothing.
Yeah, but that sets us up then for next season because, yes, we've defeated Callus, but no, we haven't defeated Callus.
So we're gonna fight Callus again.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
and again.
Well, I think at least one more time as a witness of disciple. I think he might actually make it back into raid bosses where we actually defeat him finally rather than one of his robots.
So is this Tanix 3.0?
That's a good comparison there. I like that.
Well, when you explain it to me, I'm thinking, well, we've defeated a version of him in the Leviathan raid. We've now defeated him at the end of this story, and potentially we've got to defeat him again,
Yes,
or
but
even again after that.
We've
Have we,
defeated him, but we haven't defeated him, if you understand
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah, I was gonna ask: have we ever actually fought Callus, or just these like forms of Callus, or
We
robots
have
of
actually
Callus?
fought Callus now, but we fought the physicality of Callus, not the spirit of Callus. Now, the spirit of Callus has now gone on and joined with the pyramid ship, and now he's the herald of the witness. So he's the herald of the oncoming apocalypse.
And which pyramid ship is he in? Is it the one on the moon?
One on the moon, yeah.
So why don't we just blow it up? If it's on the moon, why don't we just blow it up?
Well, you say that, but old Ashimir, he built a railgun on Io,
Yeah.
and he fired that railgun several times at the pyramid, and it didn't do anything to it.
Sort of a bigger railgun.
Well, the pyramid ships sit kind of out of phase and out of time, if you understand what I mean. So
we
anything
need, like,
you
a paracausal railgun.
Hey,
We need a paracausal railgun.
Paracausal railgun. Yes, yes, we do.
Bonfire control on there.
So can I use the bonfire from the bonfire bash to set the pyramids on fire with paracausal fire?
Yeah, we'll get Amanda to transmit a paracausal fire into the pyramid ship.
Yeah, sorted.
What
There
could
you
go
go.
wrong?
So why did we go through that whole thing of trying to expel nightmares from Zavala, from Crow, and Keitel? What was all
Well,
that about?
that I believe is actually the Vanguard leaders dealing with their own issues. Issues is possibly the harshest word for it, to be honest. It's dealing with their own demons.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've put them to bed. They are in a much better position because those demons actually help you in the end mission.
Right.
Yeah. So those demons now, they've dealt with them and now they've disappeared at the end of the end mission, didn't they?
Yep. They've gone from the helm.
Well, it's not just the helm. They actually disappeared in the end cutscene.
Yeah.
And that's when you saw how close Keitel and Zavala had got.
Yeah. Very close. Very friendly.
Yeah, pat on the back. Yeah, I'm here for you, kind of thing.
I understand that it was part of the story, but I didn't know if it had like any kind of implications to the larger story of the reasons why. Was it Callus distracting us or distracting them so that he could then eke out the time to get to where he needed to be, so that when we did finally fight him in the end story, that he was able to then go? Because if he'd have done it first of all, and there weren't those kind of barriers or obstacles that we had to kind of get rid of, we would have defeated him entirely.
I think you've described it absolutely perfectly there. He needed that time to actually get himself prepared to actually transcend into the pyramid, and then we've disposed of his physical form for him.
So is there any lore reason why he chose the one on the moon and not any of the others that are around the solar system that are kind of either hiding or like...
Well, the others around the solar system are active.
Yeah.
The one on the moon isn't. And it's also the one on the moon that's given us the nightmares, which Callus then used in this season.
Yeah, okay.
So those nightmares helped either strengthen him or separate him from his body to actually move him then to become the Herald of the Darkness.
Interesting.
So does this mean he doesn't like us anymore?
Well,
I mean, he was our
Callus-
biggest fan, and now he's heralding the darkness as a way to destroy us.
Callus's whole aim, though, was to be the witness at the end of the universe.
So I've heard people say that the witness, where he's got that kind of all those heads in his head, a bit like Megamind, that Callus is now part of that. Is that true in some way or not?
What I've researched, there's nothing concrete to say he is, but that would make sense.
But what are those in general? Are they souls? Are they consciousnesses? Is that Rolk in his paracausal state? Like he is in all like all those faces are actually just him in different states of time and space? I mean, what are they?
Well, they could just be the pinnacle of previous species that he's conquered and then become a disciple or a herald of himself. So he's got the physicality's gone there, but the spirit is still with him.
Or they all just happen to look the same?
That's just easier to render.
That's lazy.
Well, you tell the Bungie devs that. Then.
Hey, Bungie devs, that's lazy.
Well, no, if you think about it within sort of the game constrictions, that it's just a repeating generic face coming out, rather than having to actually imagine hundreds of thousands of different species of beings that are coming out of his head that he's actually assimilated over the time.
Meh.
I mean, look at the Borg.
20 or 30. Nobody knows the difference.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, Peroty. Rolk is the Borg, confirmed.
Yeah, the Borg
Not
all
Rolk.
basically look essentially the same. It's the same thing. You're a little bit different, but you're all just basically Borg and the Megamind.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you are now. You were a Grand Champion, now you're just a wispy Borg head and Megamind.
So do you guys think it's been, how many years has it been since we had Shadowkeep? Is it now 3 years?
Shadowkeep, then on to...
It has, isn't it? Shadowkeep,
Yes,
then it was Beyond Light, and then we've just had Witch Queen. So in order of stuff that should be going into the content vault. I know that Dreaming City is still around, but maybe that has some story beats later on. That's why it's still in the game and not being taken out with like the Tangled Shore. Maybe something happens on the moon. Maybe the Scarlet Keep kind of collapses when this pyramid decides it's going to move from where it is. Do you think it's going to move, or do you think it's going to stay buried in the moon? It's story wise.
Well, we've seen previously these pyramid ships can phase shift, if you will. So
Okay.
almost it could possibly bend space time and actually appear next to the moon rather than actually in the moon, because it's got to have got in there somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it was there previous to the collapse.
Okay.
Right.
But do you think it's going to have implications of like story wise that if it does phase shift or if it does move, that maybe the moon kind of either disappears from the game as like content vaulting, or do you think that the moon's still going to stay around and it's going to play an even bigger part? More places might open up on the moon.
There's too much going on the moon at the moment to actually pull it out of it in respects to a story basis. They could still actually tie this in somehow, but at the moment I can't see it.
Okay.
Well, there's been hints at Mara Sov still having a part to play in all this too. With the pyramid and whatnot. Yeah. So
is that why the Dreaming City is still around, even though?
Yeah.
And it's still going through its curse cycle, even though, yeah,
it's been cursed for a while. Let's just let them be cursed to move on. Like if we haven't fixed it by now, you're just meant to be.
Savathun, the one that cursed it. We've relieved her of her worm and air quotes killed her. Why is the curse still happening?
Because we've got to break the curse cycle.
Well, how do you do that when we've literally killed the person that
originally
is doing the cycle?
Originally, it was to reach level, was it 999 or 1,000, and then do
defeat
the Shattered Throne solo flawless, and it would break the curse. Now, somebody actually did this, and then Bungie tweeted out some sort of, I can't remember exactly what it was. It's sort of like, GG, mate, but we're still not doing it.
So, like, you mean like season pass 999?
Yeah. Well, not
Jesus.
season pass power level 999. This was ages ago, and somebody did it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Were they getting coached by Fallout or somebody like that to actually get through it solo flawless on power level 999?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they had like a whole, like I think it was Lad, and like I think they had a whole troop of people being like, I'm at the level that I need to be, but now I need to be able to do this. So I think he brought together the Avengers of Destiny to say, how can I do this? Level 999 to get through it all. Yeah, Glad and Fallout and whoever else thinking, this would solve the 15th wish and then break things.
And then Bungie tweeted out on almost like as in Savathun tweeted out, haha, I've tricked you, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if the curse is still going, do you think it's tied to Ziva Arath, or do you think it's tied to the Witness, or is it just because Bungie are still trying to leave it there for something else? Do you think that
it's more likely Bungie leaving it there for something else?
Okay.
It's still required for part of the story, and they still need it there, basically.
Fair enough. It's just I didn't know if it was like it actually had proper story implications of still being around.
But if you want to watch, if you link the 3 videos that I've dropped in the host chat there from Mylin, Bife, and there was another chap in there, I can't remember his name now. I found him randomly online, and then they could possibly understand it a bit better by watching those videos, and rather than me rambling on.
We like you rambling on. That's why we employ you to come on the show.
Yes, but
implore you to come on the show.
The wife has appeared, and she's looking at me, and I'm going to have to go.
A wild wife has appeared. Is she a shiny?
Well, maybe smoky and sort of.
Tell her it's
work. She legendary?
Tell her it's work, and it's very important.
She is.
You need to explain what to do.
And she's in her evolved form, so you don't want to mess with
her. Oh yeah. She's using rage. Isn't rage a move? Dragon rage? Yeah.
Yes. She has been empowered by Prosecco.
That's a callback. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Just to wrap this up, so this was November of 2019, back in those halcyon days of Shadowkeep, is when Bagel 4K did the 999 power grind to get there. Theoretically complete the 15th wish by doing Shattered Throne, Flawless, Solo. And yeah, the Bungie said, thanks for playing. We can't wait to see how high you climb each season. The wait is long, but I am ceaseless. Cheers, I am Savathun. Unfiled, delighted, and expectation. It's hard. I'll put this link in the show notes. It's the
Nice.
I can't remember the kind of text it's called, but like where the text is all garbled and corrupt, so it's very hard to read. But
Okay.
Right. What if Bungie like told him something or gave him something very special and very specific with a DNA clause, like, hey, here's the 15th wish, you've earned it, but you can't tell anybody what it is.
Other people would have earned it by now. We're at 1560 in power level, so other people now doing
Yeah,
it in the last
and
couple
maybe
of
all
months.
those people know what the 15th wish is, and we're just
No,
sitting here like
there's-
dumbasses.
No, there's no NDA on that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Well,
thank you
there's
very
an
much,
NDA.
R, for stopping by.
Well, if there is an NDA there, we're never going to find out about it.
No. But they can't
Exactly my
NDA
point.
every single person that gets to like solo Shattered Throne now.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
You absolutely can.
Right, guys, I've got to go.
Okay, bye.
I'll speak
Go.
to you. I'll be off next week and the week after because we're camping.
Oh
And
yeah,
next week
another
we
holiday.
need a parody replacement. So
he's going with me on the cruise, is what he meant to say. We're
Oh, yeah,
cruising
yeah.
together.
Damn it.
Oh, so Respawn is driving him to you. I
Yes,
get it.
exactly. Respawn's driving him to my house. Then we're going to go on the cruise together and spend the next 2 weeks in Alaska. It'll be great fun.
Oh,
We-
I'd love that. That'd be
we will-
amazing.
See?
No, that's what's happening. We were going to tell Respawn 19, but we didn't want them to be jealous. So
Oh, okay. I'll bring my fishing tackle.
Okay.
It's in the boot.
perfect.
Cool. Thank you very much, R. Thanks for stopping
Well-
by, and we will drop those links or those video links in our show notes for you to check out. So, My Name is Bife. The cracks are showing in the final the season finale. We have Myling Games Explained, and then Evase Haunted Ending Explained, Herald of the Witness. So yeah, they will be in the show notes if you want to understand what we are rambling on about, because you may be new to the Destiny universe and you think, what the hell is all of this?
And they probably explain far better than I can.
oh my God, are you still here?
Don't put yourself down.
Right. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh dear. The lengths that you guys go to be on the show, sitting in cars.
To give you more work to do. They just like giving you more work to edit. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
They're like,
I
Nitedemon
just
really
enjoy
enjoys
being
the
a part of the
challenge.
show. Why is that so hard to understand?
It's not.
I enjoy being a part of the show.
And
I
people
crave
enjoy
attention,
listening to
and this
you.
is my outlet.
Yeah. Have you guys got any thoughts on the end of the season? Is there anything that you think that might happen going forward that has come from the way that this season ended? Have you got any things that you can think of that may go into next season's story? Because we're 3 weeks away or 4 weeks away now.
Well, yeah, man. Everybody keeps talking about how Mara Sov still has a part to play in all this, and she's sitting there telling her. Well, her brother said, "I'm sure we'll work again sometime," but she's convinced that she can still bring her brother home. There's that whole interaction that still has to be resolved, I think, and I think that's going to come into play with the storyline. Maybe Mara Sov is going to try to do something that is not in our best interest, and that's going to cause a conflict between the now new Hunter Vanguard and split-wise, personality-wise, her brother too, right? So
Who's the new
that's
Hunter
probably going to
Vanguard?
come into play.
What did I
Well,
miss?
actually, you did miss it if you weren't paying attention. Crow's taking up the
Ah.
mantle of the Hunter Vanguard.
Well, he's
Someone's
trying to
got to.
fit in to try and do some of the jobs that the Hunter Vanguard should be doing.
Yeah, that is what he said.
Not official. He's not officially been knighted by Zavala yet.
Correct. But he's taken up the
He's just gone-
responsibilities.
Yeah, he's just gone, there's a vacancy there. I'm going to start just doing the work until people, in the end, basically call me the Hunter Vanguard. I think that's what his ploy is.
I mean, technically, like super technically, he did win the bet. You know? No, it was
Well,
a previous
lost the bet.
him.
Yeah.
No. He won the Hunter Dare, right?
Yeah, not the
So
bet.
he killed Cade. Even if it was a previous him, it was still him, quotes, right? So technically, he does qualify to be the Vanguard. You know, and it is a stretch. I understand people can be like, it's not him anymore because he's been resurrected as a guardian, and it wasn't the him that killed him because he was possessed, and blah blah blah. And I get all that, right? You all have a point, so don't come at me. But the point is his body pulled the trigger pre-resurrection, right? So there
You
you
know
go.
what? You saying this about the Hunter Vanguard, I do miss this from Destiny 1. The point of going and visiting your Vanguard to actually pick up bounties to do specifically for Hunter, for Warlock, for Titan, and actually having that interaction. I know it was only very minimal, but it was. It gave people a sense of, we report to this person, they're giving us specific bounties to go and do
Yep.
as a Titan, as a Hunter, as a Warlock. And then you go and you went and saw the speaker, and he would give you specific bounties, around the system, and go, well, if you do enough of these, you can get a lovely fancy cloak, or they were those cloaks that he had were so fancy, the butt capes and things.
Mhm.
It kind of makes me miss that from Destiny 1. I think that's something that Destiny 2 is lacking, is that uniqueness of you. I mean, even Destiny 1 now, you can still go and visit the factions, and there are faction weapons, and there were faction exotic class pieces, weren't there? If you ranked up so many times with each faction, you could get
And faction armor.
yeah,
in
faction armor
general.
as well.
Yeah.
I think that's what Destiny is missing, is some of those things in the game. I miss that. I miss the fact that you had to go to. I mean, it would be nice. Like at the moment, we have the vendors on like the different locations. But when do you go and visit Devram? When do you go and visit Failsafe and pick up bounties that to do on those places? You very
At
rarely
the
do
end of
it.
the season, when you're going to be bounty grinding.
And I think they should look at that, Bungie, and go, you know what? Maybe we need to put something more into these vendors that are on the systems. That, I mean, if you go to like Finch, he's got like a whole plethora of things that you can go do, and rank up with him and get specific armor and specific bounties for that region on the Throne World. But if you go to the EDZ, you can pick up 3. And Devram might give you some armor and an old 1350 weapon that is useless, that you can't even infuse. I mean, I say it's
Back in the
useless.
day.
Yeah.
See, I mean, each one of them should have their own specific weapon for a season. You know, it doesn't have to be a great run. It could be a really well rolled. Devram K used to have that really good pulse rifle back in the day, right? It could be like Devram K has a really good rolled pulse rifle this season, or a really good rolled sniper rifle this season that you have to work up to. Maybe not a pinnacle, maybe not a seasonal, but just something.
A reason to
Holy
go
crap.
to those
Rolled.
planets.
Yeah, something.
Or do what they've done with the crafting. Put a specific either shader or ornament that you can only get for a specific weapon in your crafting selection from doing so many bounties or so many things on that area. So say EDZ, you could go and pick up a new ornament for the Callus mini tool or a new shader, whereas if you rank up like say 25, it gives you the shader, and maybe 50, it'll give you the ornament. So just something extra for people to do, not, no life grind it, but if you are doing stuff on those specific places, it gives you something else that you can do if you want to.
Yeah. You're talking about this, and I'm reminded of D1, the sniper rifle that turned hunters invisible, the shotgun that would reload itself while Titan is standing in his bubble, And I think Warlocks had a submachine gun that did something cool, right? Or a scout rifle
No,
or something. Can't
they
remember theirs.
had a scout rifle Talarlock. The Steel
That's right,
Piercer was the sniper, and I can't remember the name of the shotgun off the top of my head.
Yeah, but that, I mean, all
but
three
they
of
all
those
had
were really
synergies,
good
yeah.
and built for their character classes, right? Like you're a Titan in a bubble with a shotgun that's reloading itself while you're in your bubble. You know, it's
The
great
thing is,
synergy there.
They did that with the swords. There are class-specific swords for,
And they
each
did that with the
specific-
glaives too, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have the same feel. You know, it just I mean, it's hard to explain, but like a glaive where one makes a bubble, one does a lightning attack, and another one has like a healing well. I think the Warlocks does.
Yeah,
Doesn't it heal? Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it does something to healing. Yeah,
but it's just not the same because they're still all glaives. I'm talking about different weapon archetypes entirely. You know,
you
that-
leaned into like the specifics for that character. Yeah,
Yeah, those power fantasies, or again, Bungie talks all about talking about the fantasy of being a hunter or a Titan or a Warlock, and what that means in terms of like your loadout. But then it's like, and you use one of these 70,000 weapons that you can use across all three characters, except for these like 6 things. It's like they've taken the fantasy but haven't extended that to the weapons really at all, except for there's a couple of small examples.
and now they're
It's like,
taking
if
back
you want me to
steps.
be the
I think
fantasy,
by removing the whole segregation of classes, now that everybody can turn invis, now that everybody can basically drop a healing well of sorts with a grenade or whatever, right? Or now that everybody can get an overshield, they're blurring the line. Not only can you not have the power fantasy of your
they're
class,
blurring the lines.
they're blurring
with
the lines.
supers and abilities.
right? And it's sort of like, are we going to have these power fantasies of these different characters, or are we going to have variations on a theme? The theme of void. Well, you can all have some void, but some of your void can be better than others. But it's like the classes they've lost a little bit of identity, while Bungie is sort of saying, hey, we want you to have this identity, but how do I live out that identity in the game other than some things are stronger and weaker? Which, I mean, fine, and that's what it is. Fine, I guess.
By the end of it, the only thing differentiating us is what kind of jumps we have as a class, and who knows how long that's going to last. Maybe one day the Titans will get an exotic that lets them have a triple jump instead of a glide. Who freaking knows? But I feel like as a game, we're losing our identities as a class.
Well, I'm just it's interesting, like to see just where does this play out to? What's the long-term picture of this? Am I going to be able to be my fallen guardian by next year? Am I going to, when Lightfall comes around, can I be my sweet Cabal Phalanx guardian? Is that going to be an option? Where's we're about through the first 10 years. Where does the next 10 take us?
We already have Hive. We don't have Fallen yet, but we do have Hive Guardians. So next expansion, can we be Hive? Fighting against the Guardians? Is that going to be a thing?
No.
Fighting alongside the Guardians.
Yeah.
Okay,
but yeah, I was just like you were saying, it just kind of got me thinking of there were so many other kind of cosmetics and ornaments and things that I think I enjoyed going around and collecting and ranking up with those specific vendors and places to get those things. I mean, those cloaks for the hunter that the speaker used to have were only unique to him, and they were really hard to kind of grind out to get, but they were really colorful and unique. They didn't go with a set. There would be like I just remember the bright colors on them, and they look fantastic. But
and then you used to have exotic class items too.
Yeah, that you could wear. You could wear an exotic and have the exotic class item, because the exotic class item didn't do anything apart from give you more rep with your faction than anything else.
Yep. I mean, when was the last? I think the bigger problem we sort of hit on was like, when was the last time you visited a lot of these planets, except to go see Xur, I mean, we sort of joked about the Europa challenge of, hey, go to Europa and do a thing. Well, when was the last time you just went to Europa for anything? I mean, I went to go visit Xur on Nessus this week. By the way, if you are hearing this and it's still before Xur leaves, go visit Xur. He has amazing armamentarium roll for the Titan this week and a couple other things. go watch Fallout's Zero One Minute video to find out all the details. But like the last time I went to Nessus before that, I can't even tell you. Like I straight up forget
Legendary Lost
Nessus
Sectors, dude.
still exists
This is the
in
only
the
things
world.
we have that are bringing us in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing that leads me to a planet that I haven't visited in months. Like I joke about the Dreaming City still being there. It's like, when was the last time I was on the Dreaming City besides a Lost Sector? I don't visit the Dreaming City ever for any reason. Like there's
I
just
think the
no
last
reason
time
to go there.
I went to Nessus to actually properly do Nessus stuff, apart from going through on a strike, was when we had that pleasure barge there, which was then part of you had to go and lock chests, and that was something that was when the Leviathan went away, wasn't it? The first time, it was like
Yep.
this whole Golden Age event. You know, I've sent this pleasure barge, go and do these things, and you'll get treasure from them. And then that crashed down on Nessus. Has that disappeared? I think it has, hasn't it? It was a crash ship for quite some time. I honestly haven't looked.
I think they removed it. Yeah, honestly, I haven't looked either. Again, I go there sector maybe or to go visit Zur. But it was where it was near where Zur. Well, they were putting Zur on it for a while, so I'm gonna guess they took it out again because otherwise Zur would still be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, but again, yeah, it gave us a reason. It gave us a reason to visit that location. It gave us something to do there, which we're lacking on a lot of the Devrim K. When was the last time we visited Devrim? What reason is there to go see Devrim? The Cosmodrome that came back. Why would I ever go to the Cosmodrome for anything?
Because the
like,
bounties are easy to complete. That is literally
right.
Those bounties that they have on the Cosmodrome are easy to complete for new Guardians to get them into the game and show them how it all kind of works. And they are also brilliant to kind of store up or do. They're very quick to do, and you can store those up to then bounty hoard for the next season going into, so you can like progress your season pass and your artifact really quickly. So
I mean, yeah, you
those are the
said
only
it.
times that I kind of go visit them.
It's Tutorial Island for New Light. That's all it is. So there's no point in veterans going there. And it's just like they're focusing so much on the overall story that they're neglecting the little bits and pieces that made you feel a part of the game. Now, instead of me feeling like I'm a Guardian that's actually a part of this game, I feel like I'm reading a story about a Guardian that participated in these events. You don't feel like you're a part of it anymore like you used to. At least I don't. Other people might, but I don't.
I feel exactly how I always felt. I'm going to different planets and killing aliens, and we'll figure out the why later.
Yeah. But all I hear is other people saying that they want more from the game. They want more kind of, not end game stuff, but more stuff that they can kind of collect or would entice them to play 10,000 strikes or play like 10,000 Gambit matches. Just something that will keep people interested in those game modes. We've had, was it? I don't know. 5 years of doing the same strikes over and over again, and people are kind of generally getting tired. I mean, I don't mind. I love the game, but from what I'm hearing,
but you're getting tired of it too. I mean, yeah. And this is all to say, everyone's gonna go, oh, you guys, have a Destiny podcast, and it seems like you hate the game. No, we love this game deeply. Like that's why we play this obsessively and continue to run on these hamster wheels. But there's also, I remember back in my day, back when you could blah blah blah. But yeah, it's like there's we've been here long enough to go. We've been through the good, we've been through the bad, and there's like Destiny continually feels like it's in growing, like it's in growing pains, or it's evolving into a thing, which I guess is par for the course for being a live game that's lasted almost 10 years, like as a consistent thing. But yeah, it's like it you never really know where the game is going to go or where it's going to take you because it's always on its way somewhere.
Yeah,
and we only see season at a time at best of what that somewhere is.
I just like to think about things to put into the game to make it more interesting for new players coming in and to keep the older players interested enough to continue to play. I feel like these are kind of like brainstorming kind of shows that we do when we sit and have a conversation about what we'd actually like to see in the game, what we'd like to see introduced, what we'd like to see taken out. I mean, I feel that when we discussed, I think we had about 2 or 3 shows that we discussed how we would like Trials to be when Trials kind of evolved. And looking back on it now, it looks like that somebody actually heard us and went, you know what, we'll try that and see where it goes. And where we had I think we came up with the idea of, and not specifically us, maybe somebody else at the same time had the same idea of putting people into different like rings of, you go flawless, you get put into a smaller ring, and more people get put into
No,
that
that was definitely us. We had that whole conversation.
I'd like to
about
claim
splitting
it,
people
but
up.
other
Yeah.
people do think of things at the same time. We didn't trademark it or anything, but things like that. And what else did we come up with recently? Oh, that was it. We'll probably get onto that in the TWAB in a while. The gunsmiths, I ranted, I believe, for like 2 shows going, I cannot believe that I missed out on that gunsmith reputation by like only like 100 pieces, because it's so much of a grind to dismantle so many things. And it looks like somebody at Bungie is going, you know what, I think maybe they're right.
A lot of other people have had the same feedback and same thought. Yeah, I thought about you immediately when I saw the 12 this week. It's like, hey, you did this thing that took forever. Now you made it better. Good job.
And I think that's what Bungie like. They like to have the feedback. So, you don't necessarily have to have a podcast to get your feedback back, but they are always interested in getting feedback about the game.
We know they definitely heard Peroty, and with the changes to the to your sweet business, now you never have to reload. They said, "Oh, reload extra immersion. I got you, Peroty."
What if you could just shoot 10,000 times and just never stop? I mean,
if you could hold the trigger for 11 minutes without reloading.
Yeah, well, why would you not do that? I've seen a couple of those videos this week, and it warms my heart. I wish the sweet business was more than just a ridiculous meme. I mean, it is. It very much is.
It might not be. Now that you don't have to pre-fire anymore, you can just lay on the trigger for an entire match.
Yeah, but having to use the DreamWork thing to get there, and I'm sure Nitedemon will put some videos in the show notes about what we're talking about with the new DreamWork perk of enabling the overflow of magazines. But yeah, it's I mean, that's why it's like you can do this firing into a wall somewhere, but not actually doing any real content with it. Poor sweet meme weapon.
So shall we tell people about the update that we had at the beginning of this week? Because there are some juicy bits in there that weren't
what are you talking about? Our patch preview had 3 minor things in it. Are you saying that there was more in this patch that people might want to know about?
I'm saying there was
I don't know. Maybe
more.
that the buff for the last word, the nerf for the last word ended up being an involuntary buff for controller damage, something like that.
Possibly, but
yeah.
I mean, when
there was a couple of things in there,
when Bungie came out a couple of weeks ago and said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to do this sandbox update, but we haven't got a date for you," and we were like, does it come the week of solstice? Does it come after solstice? Because sometimes they wait until the week before a new season, go, here you are, here's all the sandbox changes, have a week to figure it out, and then go into a new season just to keep people occupied. But no, they've dropped it with solstice and didn't warn us in the 12 last week. It was like it was a last minute decision when, you know what, we're going to stick it in now. We'll just go now and just forget about it. We're all going on holiday.
It'll be fine. We'll just drop it in there. We'll release a giant update 415 patch note for it. And everybody can just be surprised. So yeah, it has all the changes. We're not going to read them. There's a link in the show notes.
If you follow to read people. So.
I mean, we'll read you some of them. We're not going to read you all of these because there's a lot here. I mean, we can read them all if you really want to, but as we're already like an hour into this shebang, I don't know if people want that.
I mean, I still got 7 hours to drive, and I got all the time in the world today.
Well, there you go.
But no time to read. So you too can listen and tell us if we're doing a good job reading all these things out.
Right.
So I think one of the main things to take away from the raids in the dungeons is that they've adjusted the drop chance of deep sight weapons within the duality dungeon. And I think this goes back to what we pointed out not what we specifically pointed out, but I think it was Paul Tassi, wasn't it, on a tweet, said that more people have completed the duality dungeon solo flawless than they have the Epicurean fusion rifle and the machine gun. I can't remember is it something odds machine gun? Fixed odds haven't been able to craft those because they haven't had the red frame weapons to drop. So Bungie have said that they have fixed an issue with that. So there you go.
They do. They
Yeah,
also
but
took out the splash
that's
damage.
kind of a cop out on.
No, it's
They're
not a
right.
cop
The
out.
drop rates were abysmal, but you can craft your own red border once a week. So
No, but not of the Epicurean and not of the fixed odds.
Yeah, not of those.
Because they are
you still
just
need to get
dungeon
those.
specific. That's what the issue was, that those weren't dropping
okay.
enough.
Right, yeah. You still need 5 of them to be able to craft it.
And you also
I
need
gotcha.
those to finish off the triumph for the season if you're going for that. So I think people are getting a bit upset with that. But yes, as you were just about to point out, Peroty, they fixed the splash damage. So this was an issue that you were having, Respawn, with your solar hammers, wasn't it? Hitting those bells by accident.
Yes.
It no
God,
longer
I hate that.
triggers a
Not just
teleport.
that, yeah.
There you go.
The hammer explosions, the hunter knife explosions, the freaking warlock snap explosions, all those
Yeah.
were activating the freaking bells, man.
Yep. Yeah, all the
No
solar
longer.
explosions, your grenades and your rockets, anything that does splash damage no longer triggers a teleport. And they added a
Thank
flying cinematic.
Goodness.
And also fixed an issue where you were trapped in the nightmare. So if you were being trapped in the nightmare, now you should be able to be freed from the nightmare.
Oh, nice.
Which is really what the season's all about.
And one that I think it's been ongoing for quite some time. In the Grasp of Avarice, the final boss will no longer teleport out of the spawn location at the start of the encounter. Because I think that was something that every YouTuber and every content creator pointed out, is that you went to start damaging that boss and he'd suddenly teleport to somewhere else. You'd be like, well, we set up our we set up our bubble, we're about to do DPS, and he's gone. It's like out of sight, out of mind. So apparently they have fixed that issue now. So if you're doing the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, hopefully, if you place all your stuff ready to kill him, he's going to go down.
He'll stick around.
The same thing happens in the Vow of the Disciple. If you happen to be at the edge of his little area while fighting him, and he does his rush past you, he'll rush out of the map, and
Well,
you can't damage him until he rushes back into the map. And it's so aggravating.
Haven't said that they fixed that, so that's probably still an issue there.
That's just a time for you to take a drink. They've also fixed the issue where the balance of your armor and your weapon reward set weapon drops to prefer those that have not had their pattern unlocked.
Nice.
So not only, so that should make things a little bit easier. So better drop chance overall, and a little, it's not protection, but just putting a thumb on the scale. Putting a thumb on the scale to hopefully get you things that you haven't unlocked yet.
Nice, good change.
They fixed some issues with abilities. They fixed an issue with Celestial Fire and Well of Radiance not displaying the Scorch and Ignition keywords flying out when hovering over the corresponding abilities. Were you worried about the Scorch?
I wasn't worried about the Scorch, but I like knowing what things do when I put them on.
No, it's the Scorch.
The Scorch?
It's a double S.
The double S is important. They did not leave off the last S for savings, so there's no savings on the Scorch. Sorry.
And it looks like they fixed issues where icons weren't displaying properly. Radiant weapons damage boost was unintentionally stacking with tier 1 damage boosts. So
they took that away.
They've taken it away, so it doesn't stack with your Empowering Rift or High Energy Fire against PvE targets. It might still do it with PvP, but
they also fixed an issue where your solar grenade with the Molten Overload was not actually stunning Overload champions.
No, it wasn't.
No, it really wasn't.
You thought, you know what? I'm going to put this on as my grenade mod on my class item. So I've got Overload, I've got Barrier, and I've got Unstoppable weapons. I've got everything covered. It didn't, but you might now. They've also fixed an issue where friendly vortex grenades could sometimes display a burning status effect to friendly targets. It wasn't actually hurting you, but it just gave you that kind of tss around the screen. And you thought, I'm burning, but I'm not dying.
You know who's not burning, though, is there's an issue with those same vortex grenades. It's dealing lower damage than intended versus PvE targets, and they are planning a fix for later. It's not fixed now, but they're aware of it and are planning a fix for a later release. This season, next season, well, we'll have to find out.
They've also fixed an issue where Caliban's Hand exotic gauntlets for the hunters was behaving differently between PvE and PvP. They don't tell you what it was doing, do they?
But it was behaving differently. But don't worry, Nitedemon. This fix introduced a new issue they're investigating where it'll only apply Scorch to a single target.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. The other issue that you were talking about is in PvE, you would get caught in your own explosion and die.
Guardian down.
I'd say that's a you problem.
It sounds like it's
Well,
Well, not
no,
you,
of a
no,
bottom of the
because
wall,
because-
working as intended.
you're not a hunter this season, but other people.
Well, the problem is when you spec into the throwing knife to get the really big AOE radius.
Yeah.
It was big,
Okay.
and it
Well-
was killing you often.
Well, they also fixed an issue where the Caliban's hand wasn't working as intended with Radiant and Knock 'em Down aspect. So that should also work now too.
That's cool. That was my concern, because we talked about it before. When you throw that knife, sometimes the knife gets the kill, sometimes the explosion gets the kill, and if the explosion gets the kill, you don't get your knife back. You know, so yeah, so hopefully
Working
anything
as
done with the
intended.
knife, whether it's the explosion, the ignition, or the knife hit itself, kills the target, you should get your knife back.
Okay. They fixed issues with the Righteous Cloak, the Ornament for the Falling Stars, and the Omnioculus Hunter, clipping various different things in your character. They fixed those. If you were worried about those, they have fixed them.
Beautiful. They also fixed an issue where the combat mod Heavy Handed did not proc with the Titan Stasis melee.
Yeah.
And they made all the changes to airborne effectiveness, which don't exist and we're not talking about because it's all a lie. Airborne effectiveness is a lie.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, but we
the
did go into
effectiveness
those
is the
like
lie.
we did go into those in great detail a couple of weeks ago, and
Yep.
Yeah.
there's Massive Breakdown podcast that's broken every kind of thing down individually. And now actually there was who was it? It was Fallout. Fallout did his firing range DCP podcast a couple of weeks ago, going over all the airborne effectiveness when it does actually change. Now it's changed. There you go. I will link that in the show notes. You can listen to that because they are people that know how these things work in air. We slide along the ground and we shoot from the hip. That's us. Sorry.
Yeah. And same with all of the weapon archetypes that we previewed earlier, whatever week that was. They've made all those changes too. Hand cannons, auto rifles, scout rifles, shotguns, linear fusion rifles, glaives, all got their changes applied. The whole bunch of exotics, Lorenz Driver, Galahorn, Last Word, Forerunner, Ariana's Vow, Suros Regime, Whisper of the Worm, Monte Carlo Forerunner, all had area of effectiveness tweaks applied, damage tweaks applied. If you don't know what they are now, go look at the patch notes. It'll tell you exactly how many points of damage it does or does not do here, there, and everywhere.
How much accuracy do you need for a Galahorn in air? What? Why was that touched?
Well, it wasn't.
We've reduced the airborne accuracy of Galahorn, and
Well, Galahorn didn't have Galahorn didn't have a touch. It did have the your primary rocket no longer has proximity detonation, and your Wolfpack rounds now deal half damage to players.
oh, that
one.
that has changed that I was upset about. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
that was the Galahorn. Yeah,
we were
Galahorn
close
didn't-
to a respawn rant on that one.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Yeah.
played with it, so we don't know yet.
Again, some of them are AE, some of them are actual changes to the gun. And like Respawn mentioned, there is a bug with the last word that they are going to revert in a future patch that was caused by this patch.
Okay. Have they
So for
actually
right
said
now, grab your controller, take it into PvP, and you're gonna be just wiping the floor with people.
Well, maybe not
Assuming you
everybody.
can use the last
is.
word well at all.
Well,
They
the whole
have-
point of it is not to aim. Turn your brain off. You're thinking too much.
Still have to aim a little bit.
Anyway.
They have slightly reduced the time to level a shaped weapon. They've also like you to
Nice.
know that enhanced incandescent now only applies +5 scorch stacks. Fixed behavior around additional scorch stacks being applied incorrectly varied based on combatant.
So is that +5 per
Only.
bullet?
Only.
No,
Enhanced
just
Maximum
plus
of
five.
+5.
Period,
now
full stop.
only applies +5 scorch stacks.
Oh, that's
And they fixed the
so
behavior around
stupid.
additional scorch stacks being applied incorrectly, varying based on combatant. So it's
So
just
you can
five
sit there
stacks.
lay into something, and that thing's never going to get any more than 5 scorch stacks. That's ridiculous.
Well, that's how it was meant to be intended. So now that's what it's doing.
Just because it was meant to be like that doesn't mean the way it was meant to be is stupid.
Okay. Well, they've also fixed an issue with shape instances of Callus Minotaur and Drang Baruch, where the masterwork borders wouldn't appear when the weapon had enhanced intrinsic and 2 intrinsic traits on them. They now look like masterworked weapons, basically. So if you're worried about that, there you go.
The Heart Shadow Exotic Sword's Catalyst perk Wraithwalk will no longer provide benefit when the weapon's out of ammo. Gotta have ammo in
God
your
damn it.
sword. Because we're basically breaking everything. I guess we should read all these because it's breaking everything respawn once. The Extrovert Origin trait now.
It's breaking the thing respawn literally just.
Well, you should have gotten it sooner. Get good,
You should
scrub.
have. Should have pulled your finger
I
out.
was trying to.
Should have pulled your finger out.
On
Should have got it done.
flashbacks, man. As
How
soon as
do
I
you,
get it, it gets nerfed. Damn it.
how do you feel about the Extrovert Origin trait now correctly activating on glaive melee?
I like that. I
There
like
we
that a
go.
lot. Yeah.
What about the issue that caused the Heart Shadow's Exotic Sword projectile to apply weaken on all hits instead of the only the first hit made with the Shot in the Dark active? So see, they took one thing away from the Heart Shadow and then gave you a different thing. So you,
So
you have
now
to have
all at once
ammo,
apply it?
but now
Okay,
now
that's
it'll actually do more. Apply weaken on all the hits, not just the first hit. So see,
Okay.
you have to have ammo, but your ammo is actually working now.
All right. Fair enough. All right.
And apparently there was a sniper rifle that claimed it was using primary ammo, but it was in fact using secondary ammo. And that's
I've
the
deleted
Gallia
some.
RR3 that I've never heard of. So maybe it's a blue one.
Oh, I've gotten 75 of those things. I feel like.
Okay.
I think that's the one that keeps dropping. I keep dismantling. It looks vaguely similar. Honestly, I've never looked at it to know if it's worth using or not. But it's a primary slot. It's a kinetic sniper rifle that I guess was lying to me. Not that I ever noticed because I just delete them immediately because who needs them?
And here's another one that's going to upset Respawn. Get ready for the rage. They have fixed an issue where Anarchy, the exotic grenade launcher, was dealing inconsistent damage or stupid amounts of damage, as some YouTubers have said. Just so it's gone back to how it was, nerfed.
It was fun while it lasted.
Because inconsistent sounded bad, but not. Yeah.
No, it was doing extra damage.
It was doing
like
extra
a
damage.
lot of extra damage. We were using it in the raid. Somebody said, "Let's use the Anarchy," and everybody's like, "What?" It's like, "No, dude, it's good right now. Trust me." And we pulled it out, and we one phase rogue for the first time ever. I was like, "What? That was nuts!" Yeah.
Should we
And now it's
upset
gone.
him again?
Bad
I'm going to
panda.
upset him again. I'm going to go for the twofer. They have
What?
fixed
Why?
an issue
No.
where burst linear fusion rifles could fire faster than intended.
No.
So your nice new one that you got from the raid.
Bungie took it away. What about the issue where the chain of command could be made kinetic by switching perks?
I
What's
don't
the
feel
critical
that
man?
he I don't think he cares about that one, but other people
That's
might.
the heavy, right? That's
Yes.
the seasonal machine gun.
Machine gun.
Yes.
Mhm. It could be it could actually be a kinetic machine gun, not just look like one, actually be one. Or what about the?
I mean, it's an ass machine gun anyway. So
do you like the Cryosthesia 77K not working as intended with the piercing sidearm artifact mod? They fixed that now too, so it'll now piercings properly with the mod that now works properly.
I thought you were talking about a nerf because right now that gun with the right build is some of the highest DPS in the game currently for Warlocks. That gun with Warlocks is the best DPS in the game.
I can believe
What
that.
about the issue where Python and exit strategy didn't count toward the Dark Age Arsenal Triumph? They fixed that too.
Well, that's not
the
good.
shotguns, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Talking about shotguns, something that's entertaining for the fans out there.
Yeah, they fixed them. Hold on. Before you give us a story, we have two more to get through. They fixed an issue where all linear fusion rifles and some exotics had unintentionally reduced damage versus champions.
Nice.
And an issue where the Cyros regime was kept its spitting up trait between reloads. So that's sad, but a lot of Cyros regimes out there in the world. And actually, I lied. There's three more. There's a couple general things. The first gig emote will no longer have infectious melodies spread to all the other emotes. Tracking your seasonal challenge before the season resets may result in the challenge that cannot be untracked in the following season, and added images for the earnable rewards to the Witch Queen dungeon key. So that's it. We told you we weren't going to read you all the changes, and now we have. We've read you all of the changes.
Yeah, but we read you the changes and we gave you a little bit of context, so you kind of know sort of what they're talking about. Yeah. So
we
3, 2, 1, Respawn story go. Does it get?
Well, it's
stay,
not a story.
Does
It's
it stay
an
in or does it
Astrocross
get cut
thing.
out? Okay, go on.
It's from Astrocross when he was doing the last word, when he was showing everybody the last word is bugged, or he's it's bugged, and then he ended up getting mortar wolved by a hunter with Mask of Bacchus. and he started talking all this smack. Oh my god! Whoever put out a video for Mask of Bacchus and Lord of Wolves, I hope you get constipated. And he's saying all these negative things. And his editor in the background is putting his video up where he did a video about the Mask of Bacchus and the Lord of Wolves. I just thought that was entertaining. So if you want to giggle, go watch Astrocross's video. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
I had that same thought with whoever made the, hey, glaives are good in PvP. You can just tap people with your glaive now, because I feel like I've seen many more glaives this week.
Oh yeah.
But it was not me.
Yeah.
I didn't do it to myself.
Yeah. Glaives have always been fun. I was an advocate as soon as they came out. They might not melee kill as fast in PvP, but overall, having something that can
now.
Yeah. Well, they do now. But having something that you can pop a shield while shooting at somebody, and as long as you land the hit, you keep replenishing that shield is broken, dude. Absolutely broken.
You know what's also broken?
Oh, yeah.
This week in Bungie for the 21st of July, 2022.
Aren't they always broken?
Well,
maybe.
Sort of broken.
Take
Not
a
broken,
segue where
really.
I can get it.
There you go. So what's broken now?
Solstice. Solstice is always broken.
Yeah.
Do you guys like that armor? Honestly.
The armor is okay. Are we talking about the glows on it?
No, I'm talking.
I don't really.
The glows.
I don't really like
The
having
shape.
a bird on the
Unless
top
we're
of my
talking
head.
about the shape of the glows, like the little horn you have coming off your helmet, and the little horns you have coming off your shoes that look like little Christmas type little curly shoe things. I think the armors look ridiculous this season.
To be honest, I've stopped having any attachment to this armor because I know full well I'm gonna wear it for this week and then never touch it again. So
right.
I've not adopted any thoughts towards it. It just is.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be different if once you masterwork it, you could use the masterworked version as an ornament, but probably like the previous versions, you'll just get like the base level of it as an ornament instead of the masterwork version. But I'm not a fan. And since I've had to look at it as a Titan, I'm just like, that is some of the ugliest armor I've seen for a while.
I honestly prefer, I think it's last year's and the year before. I think last year's one was really nice with some of the glows that they had on there. It wasn't too over the top and flamboyant. And the previous year, it had all the cracks in it. Looks really cool when you put the glows on it. This year, I'm not 100% sold on it. The Titan one looks like it's got a bird nested on my head with the wings coming off at the side.
Exactly.
Like, no, I'm not. There is no way I'm going to be wearing that, even if it's just the white glow. So I've already made up my mind. I'm not purchasing the glows this season. I'm not going to save up my bright dust for them. I'm just going to let this one go. I think I let like 3 years ago one go as well because that wasn't 100%. I wasn't like behind that.
What were they thinking? What was the theme behind this armor? I gotta know because it's just
shiny
goofy.
Bits. Shiny bits was
some, yeah, but some people like goofy. Some people don't. I'm a person that doesn't actually.
No. Okay, if your helmet looked like the Colonel's head, that'd be goofy in a fun way. If you look like you just have a nest of birds in your helmet, that's not goofy in a good way. That's tacky. It's ugly.
I don't know. Again, I've not adopted any thoughts toward it because it's gonna come, it's gonna go, and I'm not gonna think about it ever again.
I do want to thank the stream this week. I did my stream on, I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday. So Tuesday we did some more Iron Banner, and then Wednesday I did a bit of bashing the bonfires, and I went straight into just playing the event without reading anything. And I thought, I'm going to go to the tower, I'm going to pick up my stuff, and then I'm just going to go and bash some bonfires. And thanks to the watchers, my Twitch and YouTube watchers, pointed out the fact that I do actually have to wear the armor for it to count to actually get some of the stuff. Because to be honest, I checked, I read.
It's been like that every season, though. Why would it change?
Look, I know that, but I know it's you equip the armor, you go do a thing, and it gives you the stuff for wearing the armor. But always, every single time you put the armor on, it says you have to wear this specific armor to complete objectives for stupid people like me. Okay, so this year I checked the armor. Every single piece does not say that. Does not say you have to wear this armor to get stuff done. It's hidden in the quest tab where it says equip the armor to get stuff done, which I didn't read. I just got the armor, went, oh, good. I'm just going to go and play some Bonfire Bash with my Loreley Spender helmet and my lovely armor that I like. I'm just going to go and kill things. And then I was concerned at the end of that, why I didn't get any silver leaf or ash or anything to drop. So I had to go back and read it. And then people were screaming at me in the chat going, you do know you have to wear the armor. I'm like,
or were you playing half of the activities where it drops you nothing?
Yes.
I did that still
as well.
Not fixed.
Yeah, I did. I went to the Castellum after I figured out putting the armor on, played the Castellum because I thought I'll go and do that and see if I can get a red bordered weapon, see if I get any silver leaves. I did like the tier 1 didn't drop anything, did the tier 2, got to tier 3, still didn't drop any silver leaves or any ash or anything. I was like, well, surely I'm playing the game and it says go and play the game and get stuff, and I wasn't getting stuff. I did a 7 mission, didn't get anything apart from my pinnacle.
And this is with the armor on, you said, right?
Yeah. This was after chat had corrected me into wearing the armor, and I believe you only have to wear one armor piece. If you wear the full set, you get more leaves apparently. But then I was listening to other people last night on a couple of YouTube videos saying that literally you could wear the class item, and when you play a Crucible match, it's the difference between if you wear the full set, you get 5 leaves or feathers or whatever it is, and then at the end of that, if you only have the class item on, you get 4. So I was like, well, I'll just wear whatever and just put the class item on then. Just makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I realized. I put the full set on, and then I watched a video or two, and it was just like, oh, it doesn't really matter, because I was trying to figure out, what should I play? Sort of like not what's like the best, absolutely quickest way to do it, but it was like, what's the best, quickest way to do it where I don't have to, rely on a team to, cheese something. And that's when I learned, oh, here's the whole handful of things that aren't working, like the entire Leviathan. Bungie, if you're going to have a whole event and you're going to have a whole new seasonal thing, could we put them together so I can run Nightmare things and do Solstice things at the same time? Is that too much to ask? Yes. Yes, it's too much to ask. I went back to the stupid chat, Throne World. There's the word.
Yeah.
Throne World for the first time in months, basically since the last season, because I had to go do Throne World things. I'm like, why am I doing Throne World? I've done Throne World things, Bungie. I would like to do Leviathan things. Get the weapons that you want me to get for the things that you want me to do that I can't do, or go run Sever, which is broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had the same thought of. I learned my lesson, I think, from past seasons going, I have 1 week to play this event. Let me go see what's broken now versus my normal path of let me wait until week 2 where all the broken things have been sorted out. And then I can go, okay, cool. This is all broken. Now it's all been fixed. Now I can go start my gameplay. But yeah, there's a lot of big pieces of the game where you're not getting any silver leaves to drop, which is a problem if you're trying to get the silver leaves to play the Bonfire Bash.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a part of your mission or whatever.
Yeah. Right, if it's the entire reason to do the thing.
I think Bungie need to start thinking about when an event drops, there needs to be some kind of quick cutscene or a short explanation of how to do it in video form. Because even when we were reading the TWAB last week, we were still not sure of how it was going to work, even though they broke it down with little kind of pictures and gone, what, this is going to do this is going to do that. But trying to explain that to people when we don't 100% understand it ourselves is quite hard. And I think Miss 5000 Watts was saying on DCP this week that she started the event like I did, just went straight into it and just, I'm going to go and just do it and we'll figure it out as we go along. And even in her chat, she was asking them, well, how do I do it? Because this isn't working, that isn't working. And even at that point, people were going, we don't understand what's going on yet. It's like, it took a while for it to kind of...
likes to make trailers, not instructional videos. They like to make a trailer. Look at this, and look at this, and look at this, and look at this, and look at this. But it's like, okay, all those things are cool. How do I do them? You got to figure that out on your own.
And do they actually work in the game when I go to do them? Or are they going to be a little bit buggy?
I mean, this event is perfect for any new Guardians coming in because you can handcraft armor stats to what you want it to be for end game purposes. So it's perfect for that. It's perfect for new players.
What? You can handcraft a solstice armor with your own stats?
You can
Yes.
re-roll them.
You can re-roll. You can only
Oh.
re-roll it once, but if you put the ghost on with the ghost mods and things like that, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
literally craft it to near enough perfect of how you want, and you can pick up more armor and re-roll it. So it's perfect for new guardians coming in that want to kind of learn how to build craft into certain things and how to mix their stats up rather than kind of getting random drops with different stats. That you can actually craft these. So this is perfect for new players coming in, which is half the reason why it's go and do stuff on the throne world. Because if you're a new player coming in, they want it's a free to play event, which they want new players to come in and try and experience everything across the board. Old players like us have gone, why are we going back here and doing this again? I mean, I understand it from that perspective that Bungie want to get new players involved. So this is high stat armor that you can re-roll once and start to build craft and play various different activities to get a feel for the game as a whole. But they need to explain a little bit better. Looking back at it now, I completely understand where they were kind of coming from, because when we had Solstice previously, we had different armor sets, and we would start off with a blue set. We would do various different activities. There would be a checkbox on the armor that says go and play 20 bonfire bashes, for example, go and kill 10 taken enemies, and that would tick that one off. Once you've done the full set, you could then go back to Eva in the tower, you meditate with her, it would then automatically upgrade that set that you are wearing into a legendary set. You go off,
completely change all your stats.
yeah, it would then go off, you'd go off and do the other tick box exercises that it says on those specific armor pieces, do those, come back, meditate again, and it would upgrade it to the final bit, which would then be the highest stat rolled armor that you kind of take into the next season. They've kind of done that now, because when you first get the set, somebody in our chat was saying, I picked up the set from Solstice and it's in low 40s. What's wrong? And unless you know from previous Solstice events how it worked to how they've kind of just given you the one set this time, and all it does is upgrade the stats from each thing rather than upgrade from a blue to a purple to an even higher purple, you're really confused at it. So, but even like experienced players, like I said, Miss 5000 Watts wasn't understanding how this kind of worked, and I wasn't understanding how it worked. You need a kind of a Bible to read before you kind of get into it and go, oh, by the way, yeah, this. But looking back at it now, I understand where it came from to where it was now with kindling and leaves and burning and different things. But then, as you were saying, Peroty, half the events that it tells you to go and do to get kindling for do not give you the leaves to then progress that to the point that you can then go back and do your bonfire bash. You can only do specific things. But on the challenges, it says go and do like 10 patrols, but patrols don't give you any leaves. So it's like, I'm doing these to get this checkbox done, but it's not giving me any additional stuff. Whereas in other times that we've had the event, it's given me stuff, or it's given me progression towards unlocking the armor piece. So I think where they've tried to add their currencies and add like what objectives you need to do, is kind of mixed. As Bungie have said, it should have been everything across the board gives you leaves of some kind, whether it's just 1 to 5 for just doing like bounties, or not doing bounties, doing patrols up to raids and things. Everything should be giving you it, but they've found that it isn't kind of giving what it should have done. And sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, go on.
I would say, like, again, two of the things you have to do: public events and patrols. So where have we been spending most of the season? Public eventing and patrolling on the Leviathan. Do I get credit for the public event there?
Strong feelings about this, Peroty.
Well, I mean, I go do public events on the Leviathan all day, every day. Do I get credit for that? No, absolutely not. Can I pick up a patrol while I'm doing the public event on the Leviathan and get credit for that? Yes, I can. Why one and not the other? Why can I do the patrol there, but not the public event? Why do I have to go somewhere else and do the public event? Honestly, I ended up doing it on the Throne World, because then I could get the public event, the Throne World event, and get all the things and do it all at once. Like, it's a massive grind. I mean, I'm doing one character and I am stopping because I am sure not doing this for anybody else. It is absolutely not worth my time to do this. But if you're trying to do all 3 characters, that is a massive grind. And you really can't do a lot of, you can't really stack things together and say, oh, let me go do, again, public events. And you're waiting for the public events to show up. You're not, I mean, yeah, you can fly around to different planets like we used to do back in D1, where you had to find public event timers to get those to know where you're going for them. But it's a massive time sink to do all that. It would be nice to have, the premier seasonal public event count for public events. And I just wonder, it's like, was this being planned when Witch Queen was dropped before this season? So they're going, we're going to tie this to Witch Queen, but not tie this to the season that it happens in. Is that why we have these disconnects every season? Which, if that's the case, great, fine, whatever. It's just irritating every season to go, you want me to do this thing, but I can't do this thing with the event that's on right now in this season. But no strong feelings at all. What are you talking about?
But yeah, once you get past that of the complicated, convoluted way of actually doing things and you understand it, and I believe you, Peroty, you had some videos that you highlighted from Datto and Ibontis this week that kind of broke it all down and went, this is how it works, and this is probably the best way for new players and existing players to kind of work it all out. Was that right?
Yeah. Because that was my big question: is what can I get from where? How many of these stupid new materials do I get from what activity, and which ones actually work? So, because that was a big question I was trying to answer. And I put those links somewhere. We'll put them in the show notes.
Right. I've got them in the show notes already copied and pasted.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, because I think I put them somewhere, but I've now lost which channel I stuck them into.
That's if you're starting it a week later. I mean, let's face it, you may be like me and just getting to do your solstice, or if you're proactive like Peroty and you've completed it, you don't need the links. But there you go. There will be in the show notes.
Yeah, because that was a big question.
Like such a Twilight Zone for me. The fact that Peroty's done it, Nitedemon hasn't, feels weird to hear every time you say that.
It does feel weird. Well, because Peroty doesn't have the next 2 weeks to play, so that's why I'm trying to get this, because this finishes like the day before I get on a plane to come home. So it's either do it before I leave or let it go, and I've decided not to let it go. So I finished the event on one character, and now we're good. Now I'm done. Everybody's happy.
Well done.
So how are you feeling about the EAZ, which is our European Aerial Zone? I mean, I like the fact that it's a bit more of a closed off area that we're fighting in. The rounds go a lot quicker. The bonfire building takes less time than we've had in previous solstices. I believe it was like 15 minutes that we had to roam around the map, didn't we? And kill the mini bosses to then come back and kill the ultimate boss at the end, which took maybe sometimes 5 minutes, depends on if you had a full fire team actually paying attention to the boss and you all had heavy and supers and things. So I feel that this version of it being condensed goes a lot quicker, which is nicer in a way. But then a lot of the verticality of the previous seasons, where you had to go from rooftop to rooftop and you had to kind of go over the back of the buildings to actually kill some of the enemies, isn't there now. So they've kind of boarded off doors and they put man cannons in there, which really help in the middle of the map, which get you up high to kill some of the taken. But the mini bosses before the big boss kind of only just drop in like 3 or 4 separate different areas, and it's quite easy to kind of just kill them and come back and throw at the bonfire. I did make a few slip ups with that to start off with that I won't admit to, that maybe I threw that bally and hit the wall a couple of times. I should have arced it up a bit higher.
I have thrown. I at this point should have an achievement for the number of times I've thrown the ball at the indicator on the map, and I watched it go toward that indicator, and then I never said I stoked the flame.
No.
So I am blaming the game on that one. I've thrown it where it wanted me to go, because that thing arcs at a ridiculous angle toward that bonfire. Yeah. If it can't hit that massive bonfire, I did my best.
Yeah, from where I was a couple of times when I was streaming it, I was like, okay, we're not going to tell the other 2 people that I did that. Just ignore what I've just done. We'll kill another mini boss, and hopefully that'll give us a bully we can properly throw and jump up high enough to get in that bonfire.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the event goes so quickly now. You can just sit in that back corner and just wait. Like, honestly, I haven't done it, but you could probably just sit in that corner the entire time and just wait for the bosses to come. Like, one of you sit in the back corner, one of you sit in the front where you spawn, and one of you sit like off to the left and just wait for the bosses to drop, kill them, and move on.
Hmm.
And that's if you're not doing the cheese with the stasis crystals to make it go even faster.
Yes. Are you talking about the 999 dunks with one relic equaling 500 ash, which I have in the show notes from Cheese Forever?
I am. I was with a team where we had some stasis, one stasis person doing that, and we finished that event in maybe 2 minutes.
Wicked.
I don't think we got 999 of them, but we hit that 20 limit to spawn the boss, and then the boss had no idea what was going on. He was still getting dressed, ready to come out onto the field, and he was dead.
And I believe that people were doing, there was a mission in the Throne World that you could do. I think it was like the second or third mission in the actual story that you could do up until the point of going and meeting Finch, the friendly ghost, for the first time. And people were doing that mission, and then coming out of it, one person was coming out so that they had the checkpoint. The rest of the team would then go and visit Finch. The other person would fly back on another character and get the rewards of, I think it was like 15 leaves. So yeah, 15 leaves for completing that. They'd have that checkpoint. They'd load everyone back in. They'd just repeatedly do that. Apparently, that has now been patched. So
yeah, that's what I heard because I saw Fallout video. I saw a number of people talking about it in video, and then I saw a tweet from him saying that he's heard from the community, other folks saying that it's been patched. I haven't seen a patch from Bungie,
no,
but we're hearing from people that has now been patched. So if you're hearing this on this show at this point, don't try to do that cheese. It's not going to work for you.
But Mr. Cheese Forever has another level that you can do it on. So I will link that in the show notes if you want to kind of fast silver leave after the patch. So
yeah, and the stasis boost. You don't have to use stasis, but the other boosts will get your bonfire bash done super quick. Which honestly, not that it takes long now. It's really evolved from the event where it used to be of hunt down the boss, kill them, and jump all over this place to hang out in 3/4 and just lay waste to everybody with fire. Like, it's really a different event. It's been simplified greatly. Complicated only in that you need to have a material to go into it with to get the rewards out of. So you really sort of have to, at least early on, go do something, go into Bonfire Bash, go play something else, go back into the Bonfire Bash. And we'll have videos linked in the show notes if you're trying to say, well, what can I go do to get through these things? Or if you're trying to get your Flamekeeper seal or title, what can I go do to get this done quicker rather than later? What activities on the Throne World will get me there quicker? And how can I get out of the Throne World and then ignore it again?
Well, when I saw somebody post that they'd done it in one day before the next daily reset, I thought to myself that this event isn't going to take ages to do like other solstice events. Those other solstice events have taken a considerably long time for you to do because you've had to do it on one character, then you get a character boost to do the next character, and then you get another character boost. Apparently you don't get the character boost this season. They've just made it a lot simpler for you to actually get those high stat armor rolls and complete the event and get your seals and be done. I mean, look at Peroty. He doesn't normally do loads of stuff. You've played just maybe a little bit more than your normal amount and you've got it already. So that's a good sign, I guess.
Yeah. And honestly, no part of it involves like going and doing a GM. It's really just go play activities and go play. I think it's like, I think like Wellspring on Throne World. It's like, I think it was like go do like 9 or 10 Wellsprings and you're done. You have to run a couple of lost sectors. Use the lost sectors to go, try for your armor pieces. Get those done at the same time. They're like nothing in there was a huge long grind, which was really nice. I think the longest thing it took me to do, you do need hand cannon and shotgun kills. So throw a hand cannon and a shotgun on, you're going to have 70,000 new hand cannons after this event. Go forth and profit.
And if you don't, they give you a hand cannon and a shotgun for the event.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
but if you have a Lord of Wolves and a Match with Bacchus, apparently that's really well right now.
Well, it doesn't need to be in PvP either. It's just go get kills with them. So as you're doing your strikes, because there's one that go play 25 matches of Crucible or Gambit. So while you're going and playing through those, throw a hand cannon on, throw a shotgun on. You'll get the kills. Throw incandescent on your shotgun or your hand cannon. You'll get the kills and blow everybody up. Everybody wins. It's really just go play the game. Like it's not a hard thing, but I want to call it like a diet grind. It takes some time, but it's not a hard thing to do. It's just you need to make the time commitment and look at what the challenges are. Because yeah, go getting a bunch of kills with weapons, slap those weapons on and run around, and then just go run a bunch of strikes with the weapons on. Done. You're through there before you've even realized you started.
Yeah. And as I said, pay attention when you go and visit Eva in the tower. She'll give you a bundle which will give you some armor. Put at least one piece on, and then pay attention to your quest tab, because that will give you all the information that you kind of need. Well, I say all the information. It gives you the information that you need to maybe sometimes decipher what it actually means you need to go and do before you go and do stuff. And just as a word of advice, you can sparrow around the EAZ, so you can pull out sparrow and get to places quicker if you need to. You can get a maximum of 100 leaves in your inventory. They go in your inventory, the silver leaves. 500 ash is the max, and that goes on your armor. And kindling, that also goes on the armor. It's on the N2 mod slots if you're looking on your armor. So, yeah, there's those things.
And the kindling to actually put in the mod slots to upgrade the armor is what you get from doing the challenges. So that's why you want to pay attention to the challenges. You need all the challenges done to get all the kindling to upgrade your armor pieces.
Yeah, and I believe it's 6 per piece, isn't it? To fully masterwork it, but fully upgrade it to high stat armor.
Yeah, that's
the class item doesn't really count. You don't need to do that. It's a class item.
It's a class item. It's just there to make
you
look fancy.
There's 24 challenges in total for kindling.
Yep, and that's your solstice. So I guess there's a whole twab here that we've now covered solstice. There's going to be a tease. The 23rd of August. Our next season is coming, guys. There's going to be a whole showcase.
Don't tell people that.
There's not going to be a new season? There's not going to be a showcase?
Well, but you've just got to save the date. Don't tell them stuff. We've got to keep everything secret.
Well, no. I was done. I was done telling them.
Okay.
Because that's all there is. There's a Destiny showcase on the 23rd. Put it on your calendar. That's it. The end. That's all you have to do. There's nothing else to tell you. What's coming? Things. Stuff. Story. There is a tiny little baby teaser that I haven't even watched that's 49 seconds, because that's all you're going to get before the next season.
I did watch the teaser, and I will put it in the show notes, but it's literally cutscenes and dialogue from, if you've been playing since The Witch Queen or even before that, it's just stuff that you've already heard before, remixed, and hopefully it gives you an idea of where the story's going. So you can check it out without any spoilers, because I've checked it out for you to let you know there's no spoilers for that. So that's good.
So you've spoiled the lack of spoilers.
I have.
And Bungie's going to set some expectations, because we have a few exciting things set for next month. So hopefully that means, getting previews, getting a new season, maybe an end seasonal event. TWABs before that date will not be announcing any major news. So theoretically, guys, these next couple of weeks, no major news in the TWABs. They'll still be updating you on what's going on in the live game, but they will not be sharing any groundbreaking revelations until everyone has witnessed, not you witness, the showcase dropping next month. So until the 23rd of August, so a month from July 23rd, now as we record, no major things are going to happen in the TWABs. It's going to be, run of the mill. We're not going to tell you things, so that probably means we're not going to hear about ARC 3.0 until the season drops. They're not going to detail everything. They might tease us, but they're not going to tell us all of the things that are going to be ground-shaking, groundbreaking madness.
They did this last year as well when we had the Witch Queen announcement. Did we know last year, before the Witch Queen was announced, what the final shape and the Lightfall was going to be called? Or was it in this reveal that we had around the same time last year in August? Is that when they revealed those names to us? I feel it was that they did last year. I believe it was around the 21st of August. They did a big showcase like this, detailing where Destiny was going for the next 2 to 3 years, and said, this is Witch Queen coming up, this is Lightfall, this is the final shape, this is what you've got to look forward to. And I feel that this is kind of an update to that. And again, even with that, they didn't tell us anything about that final season before the Witch Queen. I know it was a long season, but that was the season that kind of led into the Witch Queen, where she came to us and Osiris was kind of involved in the whole kind of storyline. But it kind of they didn't want to spoil it because it was kind of leading into the Witch Queen. So we didn't know anything up until that season drops. And I feel like with the season that we've got now, where they didn't tell us anything beforehand, they didn't tell us anything about the solar, they didn't tell us anything about what actually was going to happen in this season. It was just like, here's the season, here's a trailer, that's it, go and play it. And I feel that maybe there are story elements that are going to be in the season that also drops on the same day, the 23rd of August, is going to spoil what comes in, like, or could possibly spoil what could be coming in Lightfall. So they'll want you to kind of explore the new season and explore Arc 3.0 as it kind of drops. But normally what happens is they'll turn off the Destiny servers. You'll be able to just sit down and watch this if you're around at the same time. And I believe last year they did the same thing. You were able to sit down and watch it for, I think it was about an hour in total. It might not be an hour this time. And then they turn the servers back on and you were able to go and play the new season then. I believe, and I feel this is going to be exactly the same way.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So, unlike Void, where we got a whole, I think with us to go, here's what 3.0 is going to look like. And then Solar and now Arc, it's just, you're going to have a day one, figure it out. We're not going to break it down for you in depth beforehand, but we're going to make beautiful teaser trailers to look. And in case you missed from a previous trial, they're still looking for Guardian videos to profile at the showcase. So I guess that's why they were looking for videos for this showcase. So don't be shy and go ahead and use hashtag Guardian Profiles hashtag on the socials to share your favorite memories, wholesome moments with friends you made along the way, and anything else you want to share about what makes you a Guardian. Tag Bungie in those memories, and maybe you'll see yourself in this showcase they're planning for the 23rd. So either they've not gotten enough or they don't like who they've gotten. So if you haven't made a video, now's your chance. And Nitedemon, Bangie's making his way downtown, repping fast.
I'm just going to leave you hanging on that one.
You should. It was worth it. So yeah, it's basically what you already told us. Banshee is better. Bungie has heard you, Nitedemon. Bungie has heard you. Banshee 44 has heard you. And he is brandishing a Telesto and said, it will be done.
Yeah, so this is basically what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago when, or maybe at the beginning of the season, when I said I missed out on the previous season's Ascendant Shard and the Ascendant Alloy. And I'd played the season as normal. I got to just over level 200 on my season pass. I got a fair amount of legendary and exotic gear that I was able to dismantle and even create space in my vault before we had like the vault space increase. And I could not achieve the point of resetting my rank with the gunsmith. And I believe that was the first reset that we had with the gunsmith where the reputation had changed that you could reset it and get the Ascendant Shard and the Ascendant Alloy for the way they'd reworked it. And I was quite upset that I'd missed out by I think it was only like about 200 pieces in the end. And it got to the point I'd run out of shards because I was transferring shards into like blue or legendary gear that I could get out of my collections to dismantle to see if I could get it to that point. And I just completely ran out. There was no way I was going to be able to do it. And then I think about a week later into the new season, there was a glitch where you could just have blue armor from your collections that would dismantle into more legendary shards than necessary. And you were able to kind of keep dismantling them and pump it back into your collections to then go through your reps. So I'd already got my rank back from the previous season with Banshee, and I was quite happy with that. And I said to you guys, I went back through again up till about, I think it was rank 10 or 11 with him, so that I knew that I was in a comfortable place to finish out this season and get, in my mind, get what I was owed from the previous season and get this season's reset as well. And I was quite happy with that. But yeah, the Bungie have kind of heard several of us, and I do believe I think Paul Tassi and Destiny Fun Police also spoke about this on their various kind of outlets, that the Banshee's rep it's just too low for players to actually get to that rank reset. And I think I was talking to you guys, wasn't I, that neither one of you had got to the point of even getting close to resetting your rank. Is that right?
Yeah, I think I was, relatively close, but still like I need like an entire rank or two, and those last two are way more time than I had left in the season.
Yeah. Well, Joshua from the team has said over the course of the last 2 seasons, they've been evaluating the data as well as your feedback regarding gunsmith reputation progress. And just like Banshee 44's memory, it's not quite in the state that we'd like it to be. So what they're going to do going forward in season 18, so 23rd of August, they are going to update the daily bounties that you can get from the gunsmith. They will now grant 50 gunsmith reputation each, up from 25. And I'm not sure if that's going to be the repeatable ones. If that's the repeatable ones, that's really good as well. So that's for a total of 200 gunsmith reputation each day. So maybe not the repeatable ones. And secondly, and more impactful for players, gunsmith reputation gained from dismantling legendaries or exotic weapons and armor will be increased from 5 up from 3, which is also a considerable boost. And they're just going to see if that works, I guess. It might work because they want at least you to have at least one reset per season, which makes sense. But I think they didn't work out the numbers before they initially implemented this, which is why a lot of people kind of missed out on it. Because I feel that you should at least get one reset on each of the vendors in the tower if you just play normally. If you get to rank 200 on your season pass, if you play the game, you've got your seals for the season, you've played a considerable amount of Destiny to get to the light level, to get your season pass up to 200. So you've got your plus 20 in your light on top of your pinnacle power. So I feel that you've played enough that you should have ranked up at least once with the gunsmith. And I'm quite glad that Bungie have made this change, that they feel the same way. So
yeah, it's kind of nutty to go through the entire season with the gunsmith. I mean, how many weapons do we spend our time dismantling every season? And then to go, that wasn't enough. You need to do more.
Mm.
Yeah, it seems like again, they totally revamped the gunsmith, and now they're going back and saying, let's make this better and actually let you get things from him other than just piles of materials or not even piles of materials, rank that you can't do anything with because you'll never reset it.
And again, feedback to Bungie. If you feel next season it's still not working for you, don't be shy. Just feedback to them and say, look, I think maybe you need to look at this again because it's not working out. Even you've made the changes, I'm still not getting to the point of doing a reset for that vendor. So always make sure that you feed it and do it positively. Don't do it nastily. Do it positively.
Yes. And then Solstice loot, because why not? Solstice is live. We can all touch grass together in the tower.
Yes.
Feel that? That's some quality photosynthesis. You know what else is quality? The new Bungie Rewards Solstice t-shirt and tank top now available at the Bungie store. Okay. The Flamekeeper seal pin is pretty nifty too, not gonna lie. So yes, there's a lovely new t-shirt. There's a Flamekeeper seal pin. The t-shirt is a lovely, red because we're all melting in the sun. It has the Solstice logo on it, which I want to say is basically the same one from past seasons, but I'm sure it's been a little bit different every season. But it's just sort of the abstract design that Bungie uses for the Solstice events.
I'm not feeling orange, but yeah, some people might. And
yeah, it's a bold color choice, that's for sure.
For the wearable gear, Guardians will need to make sure that they complete the on-ramp pursuit series of Solstice before August 9th at 10 AM PT. For the pin, Guardians need to complete the 2022 Solstice seal and earn the associated title by the same date. So there you go.
And so yeah, either do that, don't do that, and I assume the shirts are $25 as they've been every single time. There is only one color. Your only choices are: do you want the tank top or not the tank top? That's it. So orange, not orange. There's a new shirt. Do with that information as you see fit.
So do we have a player support report? Are there things to report to the people of what's gone right and what's gone wrong? And are we getting hotfixes and updates?
The sun is a deadly loser.
Not
Solstice
where
is
I'm
live.
seeing.
Well, no, I mean, that's what it says. I feel like the sun's a deadly laser. The player support feels the sun is a deadly loser. So I'm not sure what the sun has lost, but I'd like it to lose more if possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, Solstice is live. We already told you about the last patch we're going to get, or we've already gotten. now we're going to get another patch. So we had 4.15. Now we're going to get 4.151. So maybe it's a baby patch. Maybe it's related to the first patch. We'll see. The first thing the player support report wants to make you aware of is your maximum silver ash. Players who complete the bonfire bash activity while holding the maximum stack of silver ash may still have their silver leaves converted while not receiving any more silver ash. So what I'm hearing by that is you can have all the silver ash and you're going to lose it if you convert more leaves to ash until you spend some ash. So take the ash, spend it on your armor once you've gotten the kindling from doing your challenges. Players should ensure they have space available to earn more silver ash prior to completing the bonfire bash. And what is our hotfix? It's going to show up on Tuesday, as they normally do, the 25th. Hotfix 4151 will be deployed on 9 a.m. Pacific, 1600 UTC. Destiny maintenance begins. 45 minutes later, the game's offline. 15 minutes after that, the patch starts rolling out across all the platforms and all the regions and all the lands. And then, theoretically, an hour after that, Destiny 2 maintenance completes. So, by 11 a.m. Pacific, 1600 UTC, maintenance should complete. I think this last maintenance went an additional 3 to 5 hours past when it was supposed to.
Something
like that. I think they said it was going to be online by at least 5 p.m. Eastern, and it was online by 4 p.m. So, again, that's why we tell you there can be additional downtimes. Stay tuned to Bungie Help or your favorite Twitter news outlet for all your Destiny news and information, because things should come up and go well, but they don't always. And what issues are we getting in the patch? We're not going to tell you because we're not going to preview things.
Okay.
But we are going to tell you there are a number of known issues. Players who donate to the Bungie Foundation Giving Festival may have blank emblems listed in their collections. The Kindling and Ember armor slots of the Candescent armor are incorrectly using the icon for the combat style armor mod in the armor's menu screen. So if you're trying to figure out where to put the materials in your Candescent armor, it's the last 2 slots. Kindling goes in the first one, and your ash goes in the second one. The Solstice Seashore... Yeah, I am not it's a tongue twister that doesn't need to be. The Solstice Seashore set isn't unlocking for players after unwrapping the bundle. We are currently working on a fix for the players who are affected, but there is no fix for those of us who cannot read that sentence in one go. The latest update has made unintended changes to the last word's damage output, which will be adjusted back to the intended levels in the next hotfix. So does that mean the 4151 hotfix or the one after that? You'll have to stay tuned to find out, because they're not telling. The activities that we've mentioned that do not drop silver leaves include Dares of Eternity, Sever, Altars of Sorrow, Patrols, and the Blind Well. And many of those same things you need to do to finish your activities for Solstice. However, many of them include 2 options. So if you can't do Dares, I was a bad example. I can't remember what the other one is. I think it's Altars of Sorrow or something. It's Dares or something. So go do the other one. You can still get, and they say Patrols, they're dropping somewhere, but not everywhere apparently, because I don't know. Or maybe they're not dropping, I give up. Those are the things that aren't dropping silver leaves. Dares of Eternity, Sever, Altars of Sorrow, Patrols, and the Blind Well. So you need to do those to get your bounties done. You're not getting any silver leaves out of it. You'll have to figure it out. The Hyperborean Pinion Exotic Sparrow earned from the Solstice Triumph Fuel for the Fire 3 doesn't appear in collections. Your Solstice Candescent armor cannot be synthesized into an armor ornament. The Molten Overload grenades sometimes still don't stun champions. So they've patched it, but sometimes it's still broken. So it's less broken than it was before. And the claim button doesn't appear for the 100 characters on the Season Pass reward page. Players can still acquire the items by scrolling down past the Season Track reward and clicking the claim button on the individual unclaimed rewards that are listed. And then some completed triumphs can't be untracked, which I think was the bug they said, like at the end of the season, if you have it tracked, it can't be untracked the next season.
Yeah.
But those are the known issues. Some of them may be fixed on Tuesday. They may not be. The known issues list is always linked in our show notes. And next week, either the British Man or the Floridian, or maybe a special secret guest will tell you what's actually going on.
Well, I have 2 special guests lined up for the 2 weeks that you had decided to have a holiday.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we have 2 guests stand-in parodies for next week. So tune in next week to find out who will be guest number 1, and the week after will be a different guest with a different parody voice. I've told them to do the best parody impression possible. So,
is it Deacon and is it Houndish?
I'd like to say yes and yes, but it's not. It's other people. Other people that have been on the show before that know how to use a microphone.
Interesting. That's a pretty long list.
That is.
It
And
was nice of
considering
you to
we
go
don't
and get.
actually have, guests.
Considering we're not an interview show with guests, we've actually had a fair number of guests on. So, yeah, I'll have to listen and find out.
You will.
Just like some people are going to have to try to do duality with 4 people controlling one guardian, which is one of our movies of the week. Which I don't even know how they managed to accomplish that, but good job.
I can't even do it with one guardian controlling one guardian. So well done for that.
Yeah. And then there's final mission in a nutshell video, nice little animation. The Drifter hanging out, listening to the radio, Baby Cabal chewing on armor, and I what I assume is Nitedemon's entry in the Iron Banner Forged with Fire plaque that Razor's Edge Raz has made, apparently, which is beautiful. And I don't know if it's for sale, but if it's for sale, I assume Nitedemon has thrown all of his money at it right now.
No. Deacon's got all my money. That's it. It's locked up.
Oh, that's fair. Well, that's about it for the 12 this week. But before you head out, Trials players or people who want to influence Trials, there's going to be another map vote. So Eternity, Widow's Court, or Rusted Lands. And if you also don't know what those are, go look at the 12 because they put in pictures. Is apparently going to be not this weekend's rotation, but next weekend's rotation. So the 30th of July, there should be a email that'll come out on the 25th. So on Monday, you can vote for the next Trials map, Eternity, Widow's Court, Rusted Lands. Vote, don't vote, but if you do vote, and you're one of the 77,000 people or more who do vote, you can get a fancy new emblem for doing just that. So check your email. It'll come to the same email you get all your Bungie emails that Bungie loves to tell you good things about and send you cool stats in.
Indeed.
In the meantime, you know the drill. Drink that water, take that self-care, and keep being your awesome, kind selves. And Hippie should go. So should we. Bye, Hippie.
But we're not going just yet
anywhere. Oh, no.
Do we think the Floridian man has actually pulled over to do his response report roundup?
I think he's somewhere deep in South Carolina at the moment.
If only we could track him.
Accurate.
It was a pretty good guess.
In South Carolina.
Oh, there you go. See, he's prepared. He's like, I've got to do a response report roundup. I've got to do my best that I can. I can't drive and read. Well, I could, but I'm just not going to tell the people I'm doing that.
That sounds like a horrible idea, and I do not condone that.
No, what could go wrong? It's
You're
95.
a Marine.
I mean,
you can multitask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the problem is, even when you're multitasking, if somebody else does something stupid, it's harder to react. So,
yeah, reading and smashing into a wall, multitasking.
Yeah. Season 18's reprised D1 raid news coming next week. Is that what I think that is? Is that the raid that I said I wanted to come back?
Apparently.
It sure looks like it.
Apparently, this is according to Destiny Bulletin. They've heard on the grapevine. But it's not official. It's nobody official I've heard as yet has said the news is coming next week. But
since we already have the gun that raid gives you, what if the raid now drops to 3 exotic swords from D1? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Well, I'm excited to get Crota back. I don't know about you guys.
Destiny 2 showcase teaser in the TWAB is named Twist to the Witness. That sounds painful. Correction, we have resolved an issue causing silver leaves not to drop from patrols and the sever missions. We are still investigating a fix to the other activities and will share more info when it becomes available. The incorrect tweet has been deleted.
Yeah, earlier in the week they tweeted, "We fixed everything," and then they said, "Just kidding, it wasn't everything, just these things."
It was actually just nothing. Sorry, guys. No. Bungie Help says this issue has been resolved for future purchases of the seas. Oh, this issue, it's like a tongue twister. This issue has been resolved for future purchases of the Seashore set pack. Nothing about Sally, and she's not sitting anywhere. Players should log out of the game for this fix to apply. We are still working to unlock these items for players who purchase this pack prior to this fix. Oh, and hope to have a resolution soon. There we go. We are investigating an issue. I guess this is what it's replying to. We're investigating an issue where the items in the Seashore set are not successfully unlocking for players after purchase. Say that 3 times fast. Cosmo says, reminder, we are still looking for the Guardian profile videos to feature. Tell us about your favorite Destiny memories, any friends you've made along the way, and anything that makes you feel like a Guardian. Use hashtag Guardian profiles so we can find them. And that looks like that's it for the little box of rounding up reporting stuff.
Yeah, I think that is
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah,
Wow,
not much going on in the roundup world.
Well,
lots of people going, the new season's coming. Time to start hoarding your bounties already?
Indeed, yes. So if you've already got to level 200 on your season pass, you should, in theory, be 20 levels higher, which will give you the challenge for this season or the triumph for this season. So you don't necessarily need to keep going past that. You can hoard as many bounties as you like. So yeah, there's some good ones out there. If you go to the Cosmodrome, there's ones that give you double XP, which are the weekly ones. I believe Finch also has them. The Verix on Europa also has them. So the double XP ones are worth picking up and holding on to. And I believe that we found out that the ones in the Helm also go across from season to season. So the ones from last season, which were doing the Scion Battle Ops missions, were transferable. So you could do those, save those up. They are just XP. And I guess you could probably do the same ones with the Crown this season. And they don't take them out of your inventory at the moment. So that's worth holding on to. So yeah, if you've got nothing else better to do, save up some bounties to get a leg up on next season, or don't. It's entirely up to you. This season I didn't, just to see where I was and see how hard it would be to grind to get 200. I can't remember where I am at the moment. Actually, I could give you a quick update and have a quick check. But from no actual bounty hoarding and just playing the game pretty normally for this season, I am at, drum roll please, rank 162. So I've got a fair bit to go to get to rank 200, which would, I think, theoretically gives you the 20 light higher. So I think I'm up to plus 18 on my artifact. So those extra 40 levels would get me up to 200. I think that's how it works anyway.
You got time. You got a month. I believe in you.
You get 40 levels? I don't know, man. Like in the beginning
on the season pass.
Yeah, still.
I'm sitting at 184 apparently, which I don't even know how.
See, look,
because once
you
I
do
hit
bounties all the time.
I was like, because once I hit 100, I basically XP stuff because I was like, oh, why do I care anymore about boosting the XP and put on other things? So yeah,
there you go.
Lots of running around doing activities, and I've even laid off the bounty craziness a little bit, but yeah, I still pick them up because I like the little bit of extra XP boost it gives me because I'm trying to unlock all those stupid chain of command ornaments.
That extra buzz that you get from just unlocking 20 in a row and going, "Ooh, I didn't realize I'd done them and just left them here." So yes, our tips, tricks, guides, and builds this week. As I said earlier, we've got the links from Arf with his lore. But below that, we have the tips from Abontis on the Ultimate Solstice Guide for 2022, Datto Solstice Guide for 2022, Cheese Forever videos on fastest ways to do it. And I'm guessing that if they get patched, he will find other ways or keep people updated on how to do things fast. So I will also link his channel, as we have for the last couple of weeks, at the bottom of the tips, tricks, guides, and builds. Astrocross goes over the PvP sandbox changes from July 2022. So that was the changes that came into effect this week. Goes over the ranges and what like the scout rifles, the hand cannons are all kind of doing with different buffs. Looks really interesting. I mean, he was doing, I think he was like two-tapping some guardians that had, I think it was box breathing, and he was doing the hunter jump where they flip backwards and become empowered, and two-tapping people. So that was a really interesting video of seeing what you can kind of do with the changes to the 180 hand cannons, especially. Tree Vanguard has a Hung Jura box breathing buff. So if this was one that you picked up that he recommended a while back, the box breathing, did you get this one?
Yeah, because I told you guys about that.
I know you
Because
did.
when you have box breathing active, that first shot in PvP allows you to just have one more shot, and you can two-tap guardians in PvP with the box breathing.
You can now, yes. So
Yep.
yeah, True Vanguard's got a video on that if you want to check that out, if you've got it. I'm hoping I didn't get one with box breathing because I couldn't farm the Nightfalls at that point. But I did get one that had the explosive rounds.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that kind of does a little bit more damage with the changes. I'm going to try it out and get back to you guys.
Well, the god roll back in the day was the explosive. I'm sorry, not explosive. Box breathing and what was it? Not triple tap, but
yeah, he had triple tap.
Rapid hit. I think is what it was.
Yeah, he had rapid hit and box breathing on.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up getting a box breathing roll, but not the rapid hit box breathing. I think I have triple tap box breathing or something. But yeah, so with that gun, you can two tap in PvP the way things should have always been.
And I've also put in the Patagates Gaming. He's done another one of those videos where he sits down with a YouTuber or another content creator and discusses like different things. This time it's Endgame Made Easy, featuring Equagan, EK. So if you like Equagan, if you like Patagates Gaming, they sit down for an hour and have a good chat about in-game and how to make it easy. With Equagan goes through like different builds and the way to kind of set yourself up, looking at different things for end-game activities. It was really good. It's definitely not Deacon approved at an hour long, but if you've got time to sit and listen to them, it's worth a listen. And then, as always, we've got Plunder the Booties channel and Cheese Forever's linked in our show notes. We've got some more Grandmaster guides for this week. We have Equagan's guide on the Warden of Nothing and the GM guide. And Cheese Forever has a Warden GM Cheese, if you want to go and check out that. We have our Season of the Haunted guides from Fallout Solar 3.0 guide, going into the bobblehead locations, all the different hidden enemies that are on this Leviathan from Ubuntis. And then we've got Duality Dungeon guides in there as well. And then below that, we've got our Throne World guides, which include Veil the Disciple Raid from Datto and Jarv and Fallout and Kakis HD. Cheese Forever. Just fantastic. Just go and check out our guides. Well, not our guides. They're guides that are linked in our show notes. If we did guides...
I'm surprised you haven't said anything about the Titan Bubble Train being a thing again. Or did you and I missed it?
No, I haven't. And I also haven't said anything about the new perk on the hand cannon and the shotgun, because I feel that that's going to be short-lived. I feel that the patch that's coming out this Tuesday, by the time we tell people about it, it's going to be a bit too late, because I think Bungie are going to patch that. Which is basically, you get a shot on an enemy with either your shotgun or your hand cannon that comes in the Solstice. You swap to whatever you want, like Peroty was saying with Sweet Business or Galahorn or any other weapon, and it overflows the magazine for that equipped weapon. And I believe that it isn't something that should be happening. It should just be happening actually only on the Compass Rose shotgun or I can't remember the name of the hand cannon, but it's the new one for Solstice. It should only be happening on those weapons, but it's actually happening on other weapons when people swap out. So
you mean something new?
That's
hand
the
cannon
one.
called something new, which is irritating to tell. Yeah. I don't think that's...
But the bubble train, I don't think is tied to anything like that. It's just I don't have it in front of me because, like I said, I'm parked and I don't have any videos prepared this week. But yeah, no, that you can spec out if you have a team of Titans. You can do Titan bubble trains back like you could in D1. So the
Where?
first Titan pops
Like
his
in what?
bubble. I saw it happening inside of
PvP this week with Mayhem.
Yes.
So it's a Mayhem
Okay.
thing.
That makes sense.
Oh.
I did play a bit of Mayhem this week, and I can confirm if you spec into 100% intellect and go to town and put your bubble on, by the time you've put one bubble down and stay in that bubble for those 15 seconds, you get another bubble before that other one runs out. So you can have some really good fun in that. I put on Armamentarium, had double suppressor grenades. So at one point, I got the hang of it, what Destiny Fun Police does, where he lures them into the bubble, throws down the suppressor. So as they come flying in with their supers, they get suppressed. I then walk back into the bubble, shotgun, melee, whatever them. So I was getting the hang of that.
Did you go
Yeah,
to
but aren't
Zero
you
and buy your
terrified
fancy new
about-
armamentarium?
No, I've got a really good one anyway.
Aren't you terrified of that random warlock that's still rocking void to just kill you and your bubble simultaneously?
Oh yeah, if they throw a Nova bomb, but it hits the Nova bomb hits the bubble first, so it gives me, because I'm already at the back of it, to run away. So and drop another one.
So have you tried putting a bubble within a bubble?
Yes.
Do you get double bubble?
No, the first bubble disappears.
Oh.
Yeah.
Only if there's
that's
two
so
Titans.
lame.
Yeah, no, if there's two Titans, then yeah, it works. I need my Peroty bro to do two Titans.
2 Titans in a bowl.
That's our new podcast when we get rid of respawn there.
2 Titans in a bubble.
Yeah,
That's our
that's our backup podcast.
PvP Valentine's exclusive. 2
Yeah.
Titans in a bubble.
Nice.
Or it's like the Massive Breakdown, where they split off into 2 podcasts. Massive Breakdown do PvP, and then their other podcasts do PvE. So that's our PvP podcast. 2 Titans in a bubble.
Perfect.
And then I'll be on the other side all by myself doing all the PvE stuff. Yeah, I got your raids, I got your dungeons, I got your lost sectors, I got everything you need. What's the other 2?
No, you
they're doing
don't.
PvP.
You wouldn't read those things out to people. Each week you say, "Oh, I'm bored. I'm falling asleep." Did I put you to sleep in the car today? No, because probably you were.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop over at the thing and take a nap.
Respawn would just say, shout out to my buddy so and so for giving me this footage of the new exotic from the raid and from the
Hey, I don't care how I disseminate the information or who gives it to me to disseminate. I will have the info, bro. We can go do the raids. We can do the dungeons, man. I got you.
So before we go, I just want to say thank you to everybody that turned up to my streams this week. I really appreciate that, and the chat that went on. Good to have people.
Still jealous about that.
It's good to
Because
socialize the night demon with other adults.
Yeah,
I
because
know.
Because it's the school holidays over here in England for the next 6 weeks. I might not be streaming as much, or might not stream at all during the day. I'm trying to see if I can convince my son to come and play Destiny with me and go through with him. He does play Destiny on and off, and the constant gripes with him are that he's below power or he doesn't know how to do something. So maybe kind of go through with him, showing him how to do different things on stream. So if we do that, I will let people know on our socials if we are going to be doing a stream, a kind of co-stream with him chatting in your ear. And believe me, he talks non-stop when he's.
Is this Phoenix?
Yes.
If you enjoy
Nice.
Respawn, you will love Phoenix.
You will love mini Respawn.
And the thing about it is he can't get away from Phoenix. He can mute me or he can block me out, but Phoenix is right next to him, physically speaking.
Yeah.
No escape.
So yeah, for the next 6 weeks, if I am going to be doing a stream, it's going to be a co-stream with my son, and possibly my daughter as well wants to join in. So there'll be 3 of us chatting away. If you want to ask any questions, ask me, and then I can ask them different things. But
so might there also be? I saw you plotting, planning, and scheming with another podcast to go do some things. Might that also be streamed somewhere? If that comes to fruition, I don't want to drop any information lest unfriendly ears are listening.
It looks like possibly next Saturday evening for me that I've actually got the night off work because they've scheduled me on a different night, which is quite nice that I actually get a Saturday night off. So I'm trying to organise doing or being sherped through several raids and possibly stream those just to see how those go. If it comes off, you can learn along with me, possibly next Saturday, which I'll let people know if we do actually get it organised. It'll probably be, I honestly don't know what time it'll be, but it'll be sometime late in the evening for me in the UK. So it'll be early evening East Coast for you guys. So
if Kingsley and Hazel can drag me through Deepstone Crypt, anyone can be dragged through Deepstone Crypt.
Honestly, it's not hard, guys. It's really, really not hard, and it's incredibly fun to do.
I'm not saying it's hard, but I'm saying that I've never done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're sitting in a room going, there are effects happening, shoot the ads. I could shoot ads with the best of them.
There's an exception. There's an exception. The raid is not hard, asterisk, except for the part where you have to kill a certain person who won't be named that keeps making reappearances, right? Where there's multiple copies of this one person, right? So for new people, that's going to be the biggest hump to get over, is where this person is and how to kill them. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, no, it's gonna. I want to be a part of that because
Well, so we're about to tell you where you can find us, and once you find us in those places, keep an eye out for next weekend because you may be able to witness some raiding live from
raid rage.
Yeah,
I was saying not raid racing. I mean, the racing will be, can we get this done before everybody rage quits? So it's a race, but not the race you may be thinking of.
Yeah, and hopefully it should be family friendly, so there'll be no swearing or cursing. Hopefully,
that feels optimistic.
I will do my best.
Respawn will be muted the entire time.
Respawn will be on his channel, screaming up a storm. So you have to put his channel on and the Two Titans channel, and then you can hear the entire raid, in beautiful polyphonic surround sound.
Yeah, 4D surround sound. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll let you know if it does come off.
And we need you to find us, because this is where we say, gents, thank you for listening and thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon. Your hunters no one Respawn in real life. Your lore scribe, when he's not locked in a car, is not ARF. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find us to see if we're rating at number 2 Titans_Hunter on Twitter. And we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at 2 Titans and a Hunter. Put those words in, it'll come up. We own it. Look for the lovely neon dragons. You can find us. I believe in you. And listen to this show every single week. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Audible, everywhere fine podcasts are sold. There's even a beautiful YouTube version you can watch with your very own eyes. And also, Mr. Nitedemon started streaming not just to Twitch, but also to YouTube. So follow us there, and you can be notified live things, show things, all the Titany and Huntery goodness, and all the Destiny goodness we can shove into your ear holes. And I will see you fine people 2 weeks from now, unless I am lost in the Alaskan waters on a 3-hour tour when the weather starts getting rough and our tiny ship will be tossed.
A 3-hour tour.
I will talk to lovely people in August 13th. And until then, you're stuck with these two and the secret top special guests, so enjoy them. Any parting words, gents? Until next week for you two?
Deuces!
Yeah.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
We now join your feature presentation already in progress.
It's no time to explain, isn't it?
Yes.
Always on time.
That's it. Always on time, yeah.
Yeah.
No time to explain as a pulse rifle.
That's it.
The Sunshine is one of my favorite ghost shells. Well, was it?
I heard ghost shell, I think, out of that sentence.
Yeah. I think you're going to need to position yourself in the driver's seat. Swap seats with Respawn.
Predator Sun Shell is one of my favorite shells.
No, see, saying it again is not going to help us. I need you to move closer to the cellular network tower. I need line of sight.
Line of sight doesn't work here because I'm in the back end of Beyond in Market.
No, okay. Stay right there. Wherever you are, don't move. It's perfect.
I haven't moved.
Yes, you have. Don't lie to us.